everybody. Welcome to Impossible Coin. My name is Brian Cartwright, and somebody's chewing. I think it's Rocky Hardy.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I don't want you to feel seen, Rocky. I had to double check since usually the person chewing is Tegan Somerset.
I was also chewing, so...
The mix-ups.
I was like, when you said someone was chewing, I was like, oh god, I didn't realize it was that loud, but it was Chex Mix, so...
Well, that is some fucking Princess Bride, they were both poisoned bullshit. Like, if you are new to the show and have joined us as a result of last week's interview with Dave Lang, welcome. We don't normally hang out with industry luminaries. We only do it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Our normal format is we dig around for a while, and then we talk about the news. Then we dunk on Steam. If you're looking to find out where we settled on format, I think it was about a year in that we figured that part of the necessary format was dunking on Steam.
True enough.
Yeah. Y'all, what's going on?
So, like, the first thing I'm going to talk about today is actually a video game I've been playing that isn't Breath of the Wild, because I usually play Breath of the Wild. I've been playing My Time at Portia. It's, a game. It's okay.
Alright.
I'm still early on in spring. There's 4 months, and each month is a season. So I'm still pretty early on in spring. I just made a bridge. I fixed up my house. I've got some seed boxes going on. I don't exactly understand the, potential romance mechanic yet. Cause I'm in that part of the game where, I'm so busy doing stuff, I'm not really talking to people yet.
Okay.
Unless I have to.
Yeah.
And, everyone, apparently, if I become friends with some people, they'll just tell me what their daily routine is, and then I can see them on my map all the time. I'm too busy, hanging out in this mine thing. There's, a spaceship in this mine that I'm trying to dig up.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. There's, a spaceship.
That's cool.
It's got, glowing blue lights and shit, and it's, but it's just, a husk of something, and I'm like, is something gonna happen if I unbury this thing? So I'm just trying it out. There's there's a whole conspiracy going on, and I'm like I said, I'm only at the very beginning, but there's a Church of Light who their main what they want to do is they want to destroy the old technology, because apparently the old technology led to the ruin of civilization, and now we're back in cool farming days. But there's also a scientist group, and they're no, there's some really valuable data on that stuff. You should bring it to us instead. But also, why do you want to destroy the technology? Why is one of the ruins right under the church? I have questions. I have questions. There are theories, but none of them are fully formed yet.
Alright. But I think there is a theory on this docket that you did want to talk about.
Yeah, there totally is. So remember when Nintendo announced that they put Breath of the Wild at the end of all of the timelines, and I got really mad about it, and then I went on an hour and a half long rant?
I do remember that.
So there's this village in Breath of the Wild. It's a fishing village.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the edge of the map, and not many people noticed it initially, but of course I did, because I walked everywhere, literally everywhere, because walking is the best part of Breath of the Wild, and y'all are bad people if you didn't walk everywhere. But it's called Laurelin Village, and it's in the Faron region.
Okay.
And Laurelin Village, someone has recently discovered, although I don't know how you can only recently discover this, is the exact same layout as Outset Island from Wind Waker.
Mm-hmm.
But of course it's the same. Because it is Outset Island from Wind Waker. Because really, this is the world that's sunk in Wind Waker! And I'm right! And no one can tell me otherwise, and I'm really mad about it! Nintendo put this game in the wrong place! The wrong place, I tell you!
I don't even know why they put it where they did. Just say it's after Wind Waker. Who's it gonna hurt?
Well, it's not. The thing is, it can't just be after Wind Waker, because, the world isn't sealed in this one. The world didn't flood, because Link came back 100 years later. It would create another branch in the timeline, and Nintendo's just afraid. Nintendo, I understand you're afraid, but listen. I'm right. You're wrong. It's okay. Just hire me. Just let me be the keeper of the timeline!
Keeper of the Timeline sounds like a pretty nice title. Brian, you had something to add?
Brian, do you have questions?
I'm trying to decide if it's worth it or not.
Open up that can of worms, man. We got time. We got time, and I have an energy drink. Let's go.
Oh,
She's calling you out, man.
Okay, so let's say I had a video game about mice puppets.
Sure.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I hate this already.
And
Disney's gonna sue you immediately.
Well, I mean, it could be like Five Nights at Freddy's. It could be Chuck E. Cheese. They don't have money anymore, right?
And
okay.
so I've got this video game which is about mice puppets. It's very successful. And so the story of Timothy the Mouse Puppet.
Sure.
It launches a whole series, but basically every time I release a Timothy the Mouse Puppet video game,
Mm-hmm.
it's like kind of like a variation. It's not quite the same like Timothy as the last one, because I'll come up with new ideas that are different or whatever, and eventually the Timothy the Mouse Puppet fandom grows so large that they demand of me a way to connect all these various different Timothys, and I ignore them for a while because honestly I'm just too busy doing
making the Timothy the Mouse Puppet stuff.
Yeah, and also I'm also making Mario Party, but whatever.
Okay.
So I'm making all these Timothy the Mouse Puppet games, and I keep on ignoring the fandom that's please connect all the Timothy the Mouse Puppet games. I'm fuck, and I eventually relent. And I'm fuck it, fine. Please enjoy this expensive coffee table book about Timothy the Mouse Puppet. And
they
everybody's
did.
really happy about it.
Yeah.
And everyone's oh, I feel so blessed by this Timothy the Mouse Puppet book. The problem that creates for me as the maker of Timothy the Mouse Puppet is that now, whenever I release a new Timothy the Mouse Puppet game, people treat it like the fucking election of a new pope.
Sure. It's ritualistic.
They're we eagerly await knowing where Timothy the Mouse Puppet fits this time.
Mm-hmm.
You are our high church of the Holy Order. You, the white tower from which all stories of Timothy the Mouse Puppet emanate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm okay, fine. So this story of Timothy the Mouse Puppet is when he goes over to his in-laws and the in-laws are just, the worst. It's coming February 2017. And, people just keep on, bothering me about this one. And I'm fine, fuck it. You know what? This is the last Timothy the Mouse Puppet story. It's the one where he goes over to his in-laws. It's the big, dramatic conclusion. It's at the end of all the Timothy the Mouse Puppet stories. I'm the guy who makes Timothy the Mouse Puppet, right? Those are my video games.
Right.
I make them.
Yep.
As the creator of them, the authority on them.
Theoretically, yes.
No. If it's a thing that I explicitly create, and you ask me a specific fact about it, and you're you as the creator of this piece of art about a papier-mâché fucking mouse who goes to his in-laws, I am asking you for an answer about a piece of art you made. Instead of looking inside of myself for my own interpretation of it, which is what I actually wanted to do all along, I'm going to ask you for an answer, and then I'm going to get bent out of fucking shape when you give me the wrong answer. Here's the problem. If I tell you that Timothy the Mouse Puppet lives on the fucking moon and sticks moon rocks up his ass, then that's what he does, because I'm the creator of the art and it's my art. And he does it when I tell him to do it. Because it's my art and it's my thing. And if you don't want to hear that, then don't fucking ask.
Okay. I definitely understand that. However, I feel like I should preface, like, the response to that is just like, corporations aren't people, right?
Oh,
like,
okay, all right. Here's the fucking thing. I feel like that's a cop-out answer, and here's why.
No, hold on. I didn't even start yet. Like, give me a
It's
second.
already a cop-out.
No. Like, what I'm saying is that, like, Nintendo, like, is not a monolith, and there have been several people that have done numerous interpretations on Zelda. And Nintendo has had measures of control on how, like, Zelda and its other games been, like, spun out across, like, the Nintendoverse or whatever. And while I don't entirely agree that Tegan is explicitly right about the timeline, sorry, Tegan.
No, that's okay. Makes for more interesting radio if we disagree.
Fair enough. Like, I think Nintendo's actually copping out by saying it's at the end. It's definitely Nintendo's decision to do so, but the thing is that, like, I feel like the actual answer, the one that would be satisfying to the narrative as a whole, would require more work. And I understand that position, but it's not one guy making Zelda or even a single team. There are definitely people that are, you know, across the globe that are interested in this work and are willing to do it for Nintendo. And they definitely made money off of Hyrule Historia. Like, they sold a lot of those. And if they were to say, like, we'll give to you, we have plans for, like, the Zelda timeline or whatever, and we're gonna package it with, like, a Hyrule Historia companion, people are gonna buy that book, and, like, it's definitely gonna make more money than they'll have to pay for someone to come up with these answers.
So, all right, I mean...
Pay me to come up with these answers, Nintendo. I'm already doing it for free.
And I think this is something that we talked about the last time we talked about the Zelda timeline at length on this show.
Yeah.
It is, like, the idea that like, the Zelda timeline itself is a response to fan inquiry. Like, if there had never been a very loud, very zealous internet fandom asking for a chronology would never have existed. Like, can we safely assume that? Can, like, the three of us agree on that point?
No.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm
we
done.
can't.
I'm fucking
no,
done.
We can't.
I'm fucking
Well,
done.
here's why I don't think we can. Is because Nintendo said before, like, the overzealousness of the internet, that there was a timeline for the Zelda games. That was a thing that actually existed. And whether or not they only meant that in relationship to, like, Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and, like, games that definitely had sequels, they said there was a timeline, and then they released a bunch of games. And then people were like, well, all these games gotta fit in the timeline. And they never said no. They never said all these games don't have to fit in the timeline. They just were like, there's a timeline. Meh. And then left it. You can't do that. You can't do that because people think that means everything's included, regardless of whether or not everything is included. And then they try to fit literally every piece together. And they comb through your game in ways that people wouldn't otherwise necessarily comb through a game.
Like,
Even if it wasn't necessary to, like, the Zeldaverse to have, like, a distinct timeline, Zelda, the property, is better for it. That people that interact with this lore have made Zelda a more valuable property, which ultimately makes Nintendo money and has higher engagement with their games. Like, even if it would have never happened, if people weren't angry about it on the internet, the fact that it did made Zelda better, and I think that's something that deserves to be recognized.
all right. When I use the terms exegesis and eisegesis, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. All right.
What's an exit Jesus? Where is he going?
Exegesis, not exit Jesus.
Why is Jesus exiting? It's not even April or whatever yet.
Okay.
Oh,
so, exegesis means to draw meaning from...
From nothing?
It's specifically a critical explanation or interpretation of a text, especially of scripture.
Oh, okay.
Drawn from the text. Meaning
Gotcha.
that, like, it's something which is like that what you're calling discoverable, you are finding within the content of the assessed, in the case of religion, scripture. You are looking at the content itself for your interpretations. You're like, I'm going to look at this thing in order to draw my conclusions.
Sure.
And then there is eisegesis, which is when the viewer or the reader is like imposing their own experiences onto their reading. So they're like, you know, a good example of like, you know, exegesis versus eisegesis interpretation would be like, if you're watching Kill Bill Volume 1 and you get to the part which is in Tokyo and you see the bride is wearing a motorcycle suit which is yellow with a black stripe down the side, due to eisegesis, you know that there is an entirely unrelated piece of art called Game of Death where Bruce Lee wears a yellow tracksuit with a black stripe down the side. And so then you can think about like the artistic and cultural implications of like putting a character into that costume and make that part of your study, your understanding. Mm-hmm. Sometimes exegesis is good, sometimes eisegesis is good as far as like critical assessment of an art object. You're like, okay, like what exists in here that the artist has presented, and like what about this art might be suggestive of my own pre-existing knowledge or my own pre-existing suppositions, and like, you know, where does this art lead me to in my thoughts outside of this piece? And I think that the Zelda community writ large has kind of gotten to a point where in every possible examination of any given Zelda piece of art will always prioritize eisegesis over exegesis in their assessment of something. There is no point where a Zelda fan seems to prioritize the actual content over their interpretation of the content informed by external resources.
That seems like a really big claim, man.
I mean, I'm comfortable making it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want it to sound adversarial. It's more an observation of like what I believe is a large enough community to like have its own like cultural mores. I think the Zelda community is probably different than the Zelda fandom. Like, there's plenty of people who are like, I like Link, he's got a sword, fuck him.
He's cool, and I make him when I play D&D, because I play an elf who's got a sword and a shield, and it's nice.
Yeah, exactly. You know, or even kids who are like, I like it when he fights the little guys. Like, who are the little guys? They're on the plateau. They got bombs sometimes. They go, wah! I think they're called goblins. And you're like, oh, you know what, kid? You fucking kill the goblins. You go at it.
You're like, heck yeah! You fight them goblins! You get them!
And then there's this, like, other Zelda community who are like, well, let us talk about the pottery in Kakariko Village. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me, go. And I just need to put on a helmet and run. And it feels like some...
Talk about how the design of the Sheikah technology is actually based on, like, Edo-era Japanese pottery and how cool it looks. And then Nintendo coming out and saying, yeah, that's exactly what we designed it on, because we thought it looked cool, too.
And I think that... And I want to be very clear when I say some.
Some, not all.
Some, not all, of, like, the larger, like, weird, defensive, angry passion around Zelda that some, and I say some, that some people has, is misplaced and might be better spent on something that doesn't get them, like, so fucking upset that I'm like, maybe you should lay off the Diet Coke. Like, it just, it's fucking weird. Like, it's like you would look at the way that, like some people get really, really hot about it. Like,
Yeah.
Tegan, I honestly believe that, like, you would not hit a man over the Zelda timeline. I really believe that, like, if it were to come down to it, you would not strike a person over the Zelda timeline.
I did get in a big fight in a Japanese class while I was in Japan over the Zelda timeline.
Did you hit him?
No, I didn't hit him. But that's because he wasn't worth being hit. And instead, my Japanese teacher was just amused by watching us debate.
Would you walk away from a friendship over the Zelda timeline?
No.
Okay, alright, then that might be a less extreme example.
As long as they're not... I might walk away, depending on their attitude towards the debate. If it's like a healthy, spirited, fun debate, that's one thing. But if they're calling me a dumbass because I don't know what I'm talking about, then I might walk away from that friendship.
But that's different. That's not about the timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Rocky's exactly right. You're not walking away in that case because of debate about the timeline. You're walking away in that case because of, like, issues of personal respect and boundaries. They're diminishing you as a person, and they're devaluing the relationship. They're like, right. Like, if honestly, somebody calls me a piece of shit, like, I'm gonna walk away from them too, even if all we're doing is we're talking about fucking Ritz crackers. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I ain't got no time for this. I ain't got no energy for this. Fuck off.
Right.
But if someone's just like, you know what? I personally believe that, like, Link's Awakening takes place after Breath of the Wild, you're not going to, like, punch them in the throat.
But I am going to want to know exactly why they believe that, because that would be fascinating.
Right. So, whenever I, God forbid, wade into the comments on any fucking article that may, like, have anything to do with, like, the Zelda timeline, and this definitely happened with these recent articles about the people being like, Lurelin Village is straight up in fucking Wind Waker. Like, there's so many, like, super angry people in those comments who are like, yes, and this is the most important issue of our time. Fuck kids in cages. Lurelin Village is in Wind Waker. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, who are you nightmare people? Yeah, like...
You mean, well, number one, like, wow, that's way extreme. Number two, Lurelin Village isn't in Wind Waker. Outset Island is in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
It's one of those things where I occasionally just have to take the temperature of something and go, like, how much of this is a bit? And, like, I'm glad to hear that it sounds some percentage which is above zero.
A large percentage of Tegan's Zelda outrage is a bit.
Yeah.
If Tegan is talking, like, intensely about, like, lore and stuff, like, that's like, general fascination with the historical implications in a fictional world of this new development.
Right.
Not ever, like, people should die because they're wrong.
Right. And for me, the thing which I think is the most interesting part about the idea of the Zelda timeline is that I think that it probably is one of the most easily recognizable examples across all media of, like, the rise of eisegesis interpretation outside of the context of formal academia. Like, the idea that, like, people come together and exchange ideas and exchange thoughts and are like, okay, here's why I think this and here's why I think that and yada, yada, yada. Like, the idea that, like, these nerds are like, okay, let's get together and do something that looks very much like an academic deconstruction of this body of work, but let's do it outside of the confines of formal academia. And so it's gotten kind of weird, and there are these, like, things that feel very much like blurred lines, because there are things where at this point you don't know if some of the stuff that people are treating as, like, writ law and formal is actually just something that, like, some guy thought somewhere on, like, the Game Facts forums, like, you know, like 20 years ago, and it's just been a thing that has been repeated so often since then that it's now treated like as like a presupposed
truth.
Yeah. In that way, it's very much like actual study of religion. Like, it's fascinating. the Zelda community, not necessarily the things that the Zelda community says, but the Zelda community is fascinating. I'm done now.
Yeah, we nuts.
Ugh.
Yeah, we nuts. Like, I acknowledge that.
Man.
There's a lot of Zelda people who are like, wow, you okay, buddy? You want to take a step back? And then there's a lot of Zelda people who are like, no, let's dive right in. Let's fucking fight about it. I never want to actually fight about it. I only want to play fight about it. If you actually fight me about something, I'll probably be like, okay, you're right, and then I'll cry.
Wow.
But like, I have opinions on this because I'm right. Because I'm right. I'm right. I'm so excited about being right. Because the entire, like, oh my god, I was saying at the very beginning, to Alex at least, about like, when Breath of the Wild was coming out, and they were like, look, we have Rito people who look like birds, and we have, and Zora existing, and look, we have the Kokiri, and they look like the Kokiri in Wind Waker, and I'm like, where in Wind Waker does this take place? Where around Wind Waker does this take place? And then Nintendo was like, oh, it happens after literally all of the other Zelda games, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because the Rito don't exist in any other timeline, and those particular Kokiri don't exist in any other timeline, and I'm just like, and now I'm like, ha-ha, 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 more evidence that I am correct, and that Nintendo was actually wrong, and like, and I'm just excited about it. I just have a lot of emotions regarding it. But, whatever. Nintendo just doesn't want to split their timeline up anymore, and that's fine, but they're wrong, and, like, when they're ready to acknowledge that they're wrong, I'm here ready with a full explanation as to why their timeline is wrong, and where it should actually go, thanks. Because, like, I understand they're busy thinking about other games, and, like, whatever. They don't always play a Zelda game and then know exactly where it goes in the timeline, that's fine. That's understandable. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of, and that's why you need one dedicated person to keep track of it, and I'm more than willing to do that. I don't think you understand. I spent 20 minutes playing Twilight Princess, walking through the Temple of Time level, staring at the carvings on the bottoms of the stairs, trying to read the Old Hylian. Like, you don't understand how much time I'm willing to spend on this. Nintendo, this could be my full-time job if you wanted it to be. If you just allow me to do this. Please.
I'm always, like, fascinated whenever companies will have built up either a large enough body of work or have, like, a long enough history that they say, like, hey, we have the budget for, and there might be a demand for at some point, the services of an official internal company historian, someone whose job it is to curate, manage, and understand the history of, you know, the company, what the company has done, like what the company has made and what the company does. Mm-hmm. And, like, if you look at Nintendo's official website and you go to the page for company history for Nintendo, it'll make your like a blood vessel fucking pop for you. Like, it is the company history page for Nintendo on their official website is, like, literally 1 to 2 sentences on
about each fucking system.
That is it. That's it. It starts with the NES, which they say, introduced in 1985, the NES was an instant hit. Over the course of the next 2 years, it's almost single-handedly revitalized the video game industry, selling over 60 million units. People brought games like Mario and Zelda into their homes for the first time on the NES. That is where Nintendo starts their officially offered public history. That is it. Nothing about, like...
The largest section is literally on the Nintendo DSi XL.
Yeah. Nothing about, like, the weird, cool like toys that they made in the 60s, this shit like their claw toy, or stuff about like the Game & Watch, or stuff about like all of their handheld like ball rolling games or their card games. Like, it's like you're a company that was founded in like, I believe 1885, and you're effectively like ignoring a full century of your company's history. Not to mention that like any given one of these things here is a incredible topic, like worth deep diving, let alone like all of the like subtopics that might emerge thereof. And I don't expect it all to be represented like a single page on your company's website, but I certainly hope that there is somebody internally whose actual legitimate job is the curation and understanding of Nintendo's history. And even if Nintendo has never, like, you know, something you mentioned, Tegan, was the idea that like, that even before they ever released a consumer-facing document, which was the Hyrule Historia with a timeline in it, that they had said prior to that, without any detail, that a timeline existed, which I'm assuming was an internal development and process document. You know, like part
probably,
of like, probably part of like a larger design Bible that says like, bushes look like this, here is the timeline. You know, think like that. Just like, when working on a Zelda game, here are the rules.
Games prior to this game have to have X, Y, or Z in them. Games after this game cannot mention X, Y, and Z. Like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it probably also includes a whole bunch of, like, real boring shit, like...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, like, things
Bushes in games that come after Link's Awakening look like this. Bushes that come in this one have coloring that's more along this scale as opposed to this scale.
Yeah, like, Octoroks always do this. You know, like, that kind of thing. Like, and...
Octoroks shoot stones out of their mouth. They're generally balloon-shaped octopi with 4 legs.
Right.
Like...
Right. And that's the document that I'm interested in, because the thing when they thought it was not something that was like a product of commercial interest, when it was something that was being used internally to like govern development and, you know, guide designers, that's the thing which I think is like truly like the idea of something which is like interesting to me and fascinating to me. Like I would love to see at some point some version of the Zelda Design Bible. I don't think that Nintendo company culture as it currently exists would like really allow for the release of that document. I think that we got as close as we have in years when they had their GDC talk where they're like, hey, here's all the fucking ideas that we threw out for Breath of the Wild. Right. And they like showed actual design documents. And then they were
like, hey, remember when we put Link on a motorcycle? Well, you get that motorcycle as DLC.
Right. And like, I think that they just saw how people react to getting that kind of insight and that kind of transparency. Mm-hmm. And I hope that they carry more away from that it wasn't just the motorcycle that people liked. What people really liked was the transparency. People really liked
the exposure.
Yeah, like seeing
under the hood.
Exactly. Like, so like, the Hyrule Historia is nice. But I think that something that probably I would love, and I think that Tegan would love, and I bet Rocky would love, is let us see the internal design document with that fucking reel. Let us see...
I would absolutely devour that.
Yeah.
Can that be... I feel like that's... So, like, it sounds like you're describing literally, like, 2 different jobs. Like, there's someone who's in charge of, like, this is just the stuff on the systems. This is all the games we've... Like, all the kinds of stuff we've done on these systems. This is what we were thinking, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, someone else's job is just, like, design Bible management for each major flagship title.
Not just flagship. Like, I want to see the design Bibles for every Nintendo game ever.
Yeah, for, like, Metroid, well, I'm thinking, like, you need someone specifically in charge of, like, the big ones. So, like, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, like, those ones need their own, like, go-to person. And maybe they also manage, like, 2 or 3 other, like, minor titles that weren't major franchise hits.
There needs to be some kind of, like...
We made a whole department for you, Nintendo!
Right, like... Because the thing is, like, each individual title in these franchises over the course of the history of the series has had their own design Bible when they made that game. So that way, like, fucking Gary over here doesn't like do some like thing where he's like, okay, the way you get out of the Lost Woods is shove rocks up your ass. It's like, look, Gary, that has never been the way you get out of the Lost Woods.
The way you get out of the Lost Woods is you take a bunch of wrong turns.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, all right, so you're not doing that, Gary. And so like at some point, there have been revisions every time to like the conversation about like what is or is not part of like a Zelda blind maze. Like there was a first Zelda blind maze, like where you're running through a space without an understanding of the scope and shape of the space, and like how did that evolve as an idea? Because the thing is that like running through a space blind is something which by definition can only be communicated easily, except for turning the screen black in a 3D space, because in a 2D space, top down, like we had been in the first and third game, you have an easier way to understand the space around you. You're like, oh, okay, if I go over here, then this is going to happen. It's only by putting the camera over the shoulder, like we started doing in Ocarina, that you're able to like create those blind mazes. So I want to see.
There is a blind maze in Link's Awakening, which is a top down. But literally, it's just like if you make a wrong turn, you either end up at the exact beginning, or you end up in another screen that looks exactly like the one you left.
Right.
GLDD.
Right. So, like, I want to see, like, how they started to form those rules and how those rules evolved. And, like what do you do with, like, if you're building a blind maze, here are the rules for blind mazes. Like, it's especially fascinating to me because so many of the things that, like, I think we all took for granted in Zelda games got thrown the fuck out with Breath of the Wild. There were things that had been part of their design Bibles for years that they like straight up stopped doing. So I want to see that transition. I want to see how that transition was documented. Like that's the interesting part to me. Like that's what I want.
There's so many fascinating parts.
Nintendo,
can I come work on your design Bible for The Legend of Zelda, please? Please. I promise I take meticulous notes.
They do need someone to take meticulous notes. So does Square Enix. Square Enix needs a lot of things, actually.
Square Enix needs help. Square Enix needs like 5 people just to manage part of the Final Fantasy group.
Well,
please.
Except for 14. Because Yoshi P is like, he's an actual visionary.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Shadowbringers.
How is it? Is it great? Is it amazing? Is it everything you hoped and dreamed?
I haven't gone through all of it yet. There's still some things I haven't done. But there are some features that I think are really cool. Like, for example, one of the problems with this game since its inception is that there are just way too many people who deal damage than do anything else, like healing or tanking.
Mm-hmm.
But, with the story dungeons in this game, or in this expansion, the other, like, supporting characters that, like, flesh out the story around you, they can go into dungeons with you. And you can just, like, form a party, like, at the entrance to the dungeon. So, like, if you're a DPS, instead of, like, I just unlocked this dungeon, I'll queue up and I guess I'll fuck off for half an hour. You can just, like, form a party out of, like, the NPCs around you, and they'll do the dungeon with you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and, like, they have a bit of a grind to them, which kind of sucks, but, like, it's definitely not as bad as, like, waiting, like, the half hour to, like, run the dungeon again. Like, it's so much more expedient, and, like, the characters, they're pretty good. They're not as good as people. They're still a little slow, and they don't AoE, and one character, like, always takes the limit break from you. Like, she will use it, like, the moment a boss fight starts.
Oh, no.
But, like, otherwise, the characters, they're pretty good. And, like, the story is just, like, it's really heartfelt. And the set pieces are just, like, amazing. Like, I don't want to tell you anything, Tegan, because if you do play it, like, there are just, like, some fights that just get super cool. Like, they're just super, like, colorful and, like, dynamic. But it's not, like, impossibly difficult. Like, it's not, like, Savage content. Like, they make you run around more. And, like, healers definitely have a bit more healing to do, especially since, like, the gear is, like, fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the fights are, like, really interesting, and, like, the classes are, like, really dynamic. They have you do things, but they're not super complex right now, which is, one of my gripes about it. But there are, like, the classes are definitely a lot easier to get into. And a lot of them are pretty strong, like, depending on what you have to actually decide to do. We are getting ready to raid, and that's cool because we're doing, like, these primal fights where we fight Titania and this, like, angel, well, this guy who, like, is possessed by, like, this form of light that essentially turns himself into, like, an archangel. Like, it's basically Michael, but, like, if his wings were, like, a collection of swords.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah, no, it's
what?
It's excellent. If you want to look at him, his name is Innocence.
Oh, this sounds great. Hang on.
And, like, the stages, they're just, like, this world is so, like, bright and, like, very realized, and, like, the story, like, ends in a really, like, tragic but, like, satisfying note. Because, like, like, comparing it to, like, WoW, like, Blizzard, as much as, like, they've made a really good game that people continue to want to play, the story itself, when they get to their conclusions, often it's kind of just like, well, fuck it. And, like, in this one, it's very satisfying. Like, you have, like, you have a villain that builds up over time that, like, ingratiates themselves with you, and oh man, like,
dude,
it's
this
just,
is everything I want.
It's
and
a really good
D&D
expansion.
character and an angel.
Oh, fucking Innocence.
Yeah.
And, like, it's cool because, like, you learn, like, the mechanics, especially, like, in Savage. Like,
right.
Some of the mechanics are kind of tough to do. Like, there's one where you have to, like, carry, like, you're tied to a tether, and that's gonna drop swords that, like, fall behind you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it right, like, it looks really cool on, like, the stage, because you're supposed to, like, pull it, like, away from everyone, and then just let it go to the edge, and then it, like, turns and makes, like, a diamond around everyone while you're fighting.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and it's just, there are a couple of things that I haven't done yet. Like, I haven't leveled my Gatherer or Crafter class yet. Like, I've basically just been running, like, the healers that I usually play. And the healers, with the exception of White Mage, got nerfed, like, to be honest. Because, like, there were a lot of, like, subpar healers that were dealing decent damage that occasionally didn't have to, like, focus on healing. So they took away a lot of damage tools from a lot of from the classes. Which is, like, a little frustrating to me, because I like dealing damage as a healer, but, like, the healing tools are just, like, there are so many of them, and, like, they're really cool when you line them up. It's definitely, like, a bit more bespoke healing experience, even if your numbers are lower. I had fun, especially from, like, that first dungeon, because, like, you're in a world where, like, essentially the heroes of Light won. Like, they killed, like, the Lord of Darkness. But instead of, like, making everything peachy keen, it, like, let Light go wild, and, like, it literally destroyed the planet.
Oh, no! Too much good! You need that balance! You need that balance!
And so, like, you're brought in, essentially, because, like, you're the warrior of light from, like, a different world. And, like, the warriors of darkness were the people that were here, because darkness was, like, the dominant aspect there. So, like, darkness used to be the good guys, but now they're not. And when you're brought there as the warrior of light, they're, like, these essentially giant bosses that are, like, huge, like, combinations of light. And whenever someone killed them, instead of the light dissipating, it basically just grabbed a new host and made them the new light monster. But because you're aspected light, you have the unique property of being able to hold the light within you without turning.
Ooh,
and,
okay.
and so, like, when you beat, like, the first, like, dungeon boss, like, this light warden or whatever, like, they explodes into light, and then it, like, you absorb it into your body, and so much so that, like, the sky, like, allows it, like, the sky, like, is permanently covered in, like, this eerie, like, orange daylight, and then, like, you pull it away, and then they see, like, the night sky for, like, the first time in a century. And I was just sitting there holding my controller like, holy shit, I'm the Shadowbringer. This is the best. I love this so much. And you do that, like, in different regions and stuff. And, like, it gets intense because there's, like, there's a whole, like, hedonistic society you gotta take down that, like, decided, the world's coming to an end and we're already rich. So, like, we're just gonna hang out and, like, enjoy life's pleasures or whatever. And then you get to fuck them up and tell them that they're wrong. And they're obviously causing a bunch of problems. And you go under the sea. and like you find an ancient city, and like, oh god damn it, it's so good. It's so good.
This sounds great. Brian, do you want to try an MMO?
Oh god, this sounds really fucking tempting.
Brian, do we need to try an MMO?
Well, like, if you guys are interested, Heather Alexandra wrote a very good write-up on the current state of the game and how to get into it, like, including things like server breakdowns and, like, the cultures that surround them, types of classes, and, like, ways to, like, lessen the grind and, like, maximize your enjoyment of the experience. And, like, there are things like level boosters that allow you to jump out of, like, specific, like, sections of the game. Like, I wouldn't advise that anyone plays, like, 2.0, which is, like, the original remake. Like, it's definitely better than 1.0, but it's, like, really slow. And, like, Heaven's Ward, where you go, it's, like, this weird, like, neo-Victorian, like, city that's being besieged by dragons, is where the story really kicks off, and where a lot of the more current classes start showing up. And then Stormblood is really fun, but, like, I don't think a lot of people should start there. And 5.0 is definitely worth playing, which is where I'm at. But, like, you definitely shouldn't start there, because, like, you'll just be confused. There's so much shit that, like, you'll just be missing. At this point, actually, at that point, I would really wish that, like, Square Enix would put together, like, a series of movies like they did for some of the off games in Kingdom Hearts. So you could just sit down and, like, watch Heaven's Ward or watch Stormblood. But, I don't know. Maybe that'll come in the future. Who fucking knows? But, Shadowbringers is dope. I'm having a lot of fun. There's still so much stuff I still have to do. And raid starts in 2 weeks. That's where I'm at.
Wow.
On a lighter note, I downloaded the Footsies app, which is like the super bare bones fighting game app where you just have like left and right and a single attack button. Footsies Turbo Edition. It's on Android and iOS. And it's neat because it turns your phone into like a small arcade machine. Like it basically like splits your screen in half so like the other person can use the other side of your touch screen, and you can just like left, right, and like attack against each other. And you have like, you know, some pretty iconic moves. You have like a low kick, you have a Shoryuken, and you have a donkey kick. And like you can block, you can dash and stuff. And it's really just about like the fighting game fundamentals. Like you either land like one big hit, or you chip away by landing 3 small ones, and you just play in each other's ranges. It's very much like dive kick, but it's like a little more stretched out. And I've been doing it just like, I mean, obviously not at home, because, you know, I'm on that MMO grind, but when I'm out and about and I like see friends or whatever, if we have like, you know, a couple minutes sitting around in a restaurant or we're just waiting in line for some nonsense, we'll sit down and play footsies for a bit. Like, why not? And like, it's an enjoyable experience. Like, if people are like, you know, curious about fighting games, it's a nice thing to step into. Maybe you can pick up Shamsho, but Shamsho is actually pretty dense. And like, I follow Scrub Code, so I'm definitely biased on it, but there's some people that have gotten real hurt over like how like they're getting pushed out by people that like already figured out the shit. But like Footsies is definitely like, it's definitely a lot less dense. So like you're not going to get roasted that hard. Like anyone can take a match off in Footsies, but it definitely sets a pretty good foundation for like figuring out other stuff. Also, I've been meaning to play Million Arthur, but like that is just like the most anime fighting game. Like it is out of control. Like none of it makes sense. Holy shit.
Yeah. I think I need to get on that fucking Footsies.
You should, man. Like, fuck around with it. See how you feel. Like, Turbo Edition is actually really streamlined. Like, you basically have, like, a charge attack and, like, taps and whatnot. Like, it doesn't get any more complicated than that. And you're just, like, stepping in and out of ranges, seeing if you can land a hit or whatever. Just remember to block, because a lot of people forget to block.
Rocky, did you ever play One Finger Death Punch?
No, I did not. What is it?
So One Finger Death Punch was a game that was originally on Xbox Live Indie Games,
mm-hmm.
which was like the weird like back alley available on the Xbox 360.
Sure.
Like, here's a bunch of games that were built with XNA. You have to go in a weird place to, like, find them. Like, they're not kept with the rest of the games. They all are, like, really, really low cost. They were, like, 50 cents, $1, or $3. Like, the most expensive one was, like, $3. And so, like, One Finger Death Punch was, like, a game that was originally, like, $1 on Xbox Live Indie Games. And, like, they put your character, in, like, the center of the screen, and then would have, like, a stream of enemies coming from both directions.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it became about, like, okay, so in this game, you can duck and you can attack in either direction. So you can attack to your right, or you can attack to your left, or you can duck. And then, like, sometimes, like, attacking in one direction would create, like, a synergy. Like, if there's, like, an archer, you know, shooting at you from one direction, you know, your attack button in that direction won't say necessarily throw a punch. It might be to catch the arrow midair that's being shot at you, which you could then throw in the other direction. So it was like this game which was, like, all about, like, timing and fundamentals and balancing, dealing with multiple enemies at one time. It was kind of like a cult hit on Xbox Live Indie Games, and one of the things I always liked about it was, like, it took some very, very basic game design ideas and, like, boiled them down to their absolute essentials. So, like, when you were describing footsies, the first thing that popped to mind wasn't necessarily dive kick, which is also that, but what came to mind was One Finger Death Punch, because there's a little bit more that One Finger Death Punch asks the player to keep track of, you know, at any given time.
I'm looking at it. Apparently they put out a sequel, like, in April.
And I have still not fucked with it. Yeah. Rocky?
Yes.
You got anything else, my dude?
Yeah, man. Dude, have you seen this Sword and Shield shit, man?
Yeah.
So, because you guys already know about Nessa, right? Nessa, the water Pokemon leader.
Yeah,
gym leader.
Nessa the queen. The queen of the seas, daughter of Poseidon. Yeah.
Sword and Shield gave us a bit more information lately. They introduced some new Pokemon, including a Steel Dragon type that looks really dope.
You mean Mechagodzilla?
Yes, Mechagodzilla. We were told that Sword and Shield would have different gym leaders in certain cities based on which game you were playing. One of the differences they showed to us, if you're playing the Sword version, you would run into the Fighty Gym karate prodigy Bay, who looks amazing, truly incredible. And if you were playing in Shield, you would run into the ghost Pokemon leader Alistair, who's just, like, terrifying and amazing.
That's my boy!
And, like,
that's my son right there. Alistair's my son. I've already adopted him. Isn't he great? He's so cute.
And he has Alistair has, like, a Mimikyu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Like,
and he wears a Shy Guy mask. What a good. Wow. He's got so much social anxiety. Poor baby. I love him.
Oh, man. But, like, just, like, Bae, like, here, like, in this karate stance, like, I just want to see her kick the shit out of something. I saw, like, a piece of fan art where she was, like, training versus a Machoke, and she landed, like, a really good step kick on him, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I totally believe it. I'm all the way in.
It's good, yeah. She definitely fights a Machoke, and she wins half the time.
And I'm really excited, because, like, all the gym leaders look dope. Like, legitimately amazing. And I'm super excited for this game. And I know they're going to tell me more leading up to November. and I'm here for it. I'm very excited.
I'm way on board with Alistair, and it definitely meant I'm going to be Alistair's sword, right?
No.
Shield?
Brian's a shield man now.
Okay, I'm a shield man. That's the way it's got to go. Because, I definitely saw that dude and I was like, that dude has got every Dirt and Grey album. All of them. Probably got some posters up. It just such a good look. Fantastic. I also think that further separating, what you experience in the two, to a lot of people, the distinction between the Pokemon games over the years has always just felt like withheld content versus different content,
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, why don't you just give me all these little fucking monsters in one box? And you're like, well, no. But this definitely feels like alternate content, different content, like a deliberate choice that the player makes. And that sounds fun. That sounds exciting. So good on you. That sounds like a cool choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've been a shield person from the start. I'm just more excited now to be a shield person. That's my boy. That's my boy. That's going to be best boy this year.
Ooh.
That's going to be best boy. He's too
I'm
good.
Interested. I
He's
want
too
to see
pure. He's got to mimic you.
He does
What
have
a baby.
mimic you.
He understands. They both wear little mask costumes. I love it.
God, I really wish I could have, I want to see, I hope they do, backstories and stuff. I hope we get more out of the gym leaders. We get stories and stuff. I know obviously, you're a kid or whatever, and, you're just, going through your story, but I'd love to see, the moment that, Alistair met his Mimikyu. That sounds amazing.
You heard about the thing with the numbers on their gym uniforms, right?
Oh, yeah, they're all Japanese puns?
Yeah, they're all Japanese puns on, the type of gym that they have. So good.
Oh, man.
So good. I want it.
It's coming. It's on its way.
So bad. Nintendo. I'm gonna have to ask for time off work. So much time. And they're gonna give us little keychains. Keychains are so cute.
Wait, what? They're keychains?
Yeah, if you pre-order, you get a little keychain. It's got starter keychains. Cute.
Neat.
Oh, God. I need one for Score Bunny. That's my son. I got my anxious ghost boy son and my ADHD rabbit son. It's a good time.
Nice. Oh man, this Saba one looks really good, actually.
Right? Isn't it cute? They're all cute. God, I love them. The more information comes out about this game, the more, I want it.
They're definitely handling that really well.
Right? And did you see the thing they said about Yamper? Yamper, Brian, did you see what they said about Yamper?
I did not.
Yamper has a special ability called Fetch.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes,
Yeah, if
I did see that.
Pokeball and it doesn't catch the Pokemon and he's not holding anything, he'll go get it for you. What a good dog! What a good dog!
Oh man, Yamper's gonna be so good.
I love him.
Well, Rocky.
Yes.
Yamper may be good, so I'm sorry that I must now balance the eternal scales.
Here we go.
Oh, what's bad?
Dr. Mario.
Why is Dr. Mario bad? Isn't it just like Tetris but not?
No, Brian, go ahead. It's your thing.
Tell me why it's bad.
Dr. Mario World is the fucking biggest pile of shit. Yes, Rocky?
No, it's your thing. Go ahead.
Is the fucking biggest pile of shit I've seen. Probably since Nintendo has said, hey guys, why don't we try this whole phone game thing out? It is here for your wallet. It is absolutely here for your wallet. So, the game... Alright, and here are parts of the frustration.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I want to preface this for something. So, everyone knows that Fire Emblem Heroes is definitely just Nintendo's take on gacha games. That's exactly what it is.
For sure.
Dr. Mario is Nintendo's take on Candy Crush. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. It is. It's vicious. It's fucking vicious. Like, I never thought I would see the day where Nintendo would release the predatory mobile puzzle game where a level can only be resolved through the purchase of utilities in the shop. Yeah.
He's gross.
Yeah, so like, when you play each level in here's the thing. Here's what makes me really fucking mad about Dr. Mario World. Is that, there is stuff about it that I very much like. Like, when you start Dr. Mario World, like, after you do, like, the first level or two, it asks you to decide which doctor you want to play as.
What?
It's like
there's multiple doctors?
They're like,
yes.
Will you be Dr. Mario? Will you be Dr. Peach?
What? Peach doesn't need another career. She's already trying to be a ruler.
Wait, but there's also Dr. Bowser.
Dr. Bowser.
What the fuck?
And there's other unlockable doctors later. Wario has been confirmed.
Yeah.
So Joe Spiro. Thanks, Joe Spiro.
I don't want Wario anywhere near a doctor's practice. What the fuck? Like, I'd trust Dr. Waluigi, but not Dr. Wario. Jesus. Oh, he's gonna fart in my face.
Damn, you might actually do that while you're
Tell you it's your inhaler. God, that sounds awful.
Like, very, very quickly in the game, you come to levels which can only be completed by purchasing diamonds, and then trading the diamonds in for resources that will let you complete the level.
Why does that sound like Love Nikki?
Well, I think that might be the... There you go, Tegan.
Is that the problem? It's Love Nikki, but not as fun? It's Love Nikki, but medical school?
Well, like, the game is actually pretty fun. Like, the game mechanics aren't really something to be knocked. It's just, like, they designed these puzzles that, like, require you to take out your wallet in order to clear them.
Right. I mean, like, the thing is like, Dr. Mario, in and of itself, is a fun match puzzle game. Like, there are viruses. The viruses can only be cleared by dropping medicine on them of the same color. You need to form a row of 3 of the same color, virus plus medicine, to clear the viruses. And it's simple enough. It's been around since, like, the NES. Like Dr. Mario on the Game Boy and NES, a game which has seen success. Like, there was, Dr. Mario on the SNES as well. It also saw success. So, like, a new Dr. Mario game is a thing that I would say is a good idea. But they're like, how about this? So you come to levels where you just simply don't have enough pills to clear all the viruses. Like, I'm not even shitting you. Like, they just don't give you enough capsules to clear the level. But they're like, hey, you can get 5 more capsules for 10 diamonds. It's like, oh, well, 10 diamonds, huh? What's the...
No. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trap.
And then you go and you look at the store, and you see that the minimum quantity that diamonds can be purchased in is 20 diamonds. And so, like, well, that's $2 for 20 diamonds. And you're like, well, if I buy those 5 capsules, it doesn't guarantee that I'm going to solve the level. It just means that I have 5 more capsules in the level. Like, so what if I actually needed 7 capsules? So it's that kind of rabbit hole. Like, plus there's other things that, like, augments that they have for the level, like skill ups, like start with your skill meter more full, or There's also levels where if you complete the level perfectly, you still won't achieve a 3-star score. So you can spend coins on adding a star to your score.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's cheating!
Like, this game is just Nintendo's, like, absolute most naked embrace of all of the worst things going on in mobile gaming right now. And it makes me so sad because, like, there are so many good things that are happening in mobile gaming, and I would expect and hope Nintendo to be part of that and be part of the vanguard of that. And it's like they released one mobile game that was like pretty good, but like priced badly and didn't communicate well what it was going to be to people who bought it in the form of Super Mario Run. And so then when like people didn't like buy and enjoy their $10 fucking Mario Runner, they're like, well, fuck it. I guess what we have to do from here is just like eviscerate people and take their wallets.
No.
And Dr. Mario World is just like the most naked manifestation of that. Like, I never tweet shitty things at like people who work for Nintendo, but like Doug Bowser.
If you ask me nicely, I'll just give you my money. I will.
But like Doug Bowser like tweeted a picture of like Dr. Bowser and like and I was like, yeah, too bad it's a pile of shit. You know, I was just it pissed me off. I was like, God, this fucking game. Like,
is this because Bowser's in charge?
No, Tegan, it's not.
Is this the problem?
No, like this game has
been. We have to overthrow the kingdom.
Like this game has been in development for a while. Like this is not like
we have to overthrow the kingdom. It's a sign.
This is man.
Done with the bourgeoisie.
So this is a case of like, come on, guys, you can do better. You know, one of the things that I really like Nintendo did recently was go and work with somebody else and just be like, hey, here's our assets, go make a thing. In the form of the Crypto, the Necrodancer, like, fusion project with Zelda.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the place where Nintendo would probably be best served with this line of thinking would be if they went and found mobile developers who did cool things and said like, hey, mobile developer who does cool things, we would like to make a mobile game that uses our IP and does so in a cool way. Could you do that? Like, I would very much like to say, like, to play like Pikmin 3s, you know? Or if I'm like dragging Pikmin around like you do in like, say, 3s or 2048, like, you know, like that'd be a good time. Or
I thought you meant like Pikmin 3, like the game. I was like, what?
Or give me like The Legend of Zelda Monument Valley.
Ooh.
Yeah, like there are mobile games out there which are templates for how to release a mobile game that makes a bunch of money and does so ethically. Nintendo, you do not have to release this absolute fucking dog shit. Like, Dr. Mario World has got me fucking mad. It probably would make me less mad if the art in the game wasn't fantastic. Like, if it didn't look great and have a good feel to it, like, the actual act of, like, dragging the pill pieces around feels good. The game looks good. Like, the interface is designed well. But the thing is that all of that is done in service of just making it easier for you to just pour all of your money into their fucking coffers. Thumbs down.
Nintendo, as long as you make good stuff, I'm just gonna keep dumping money in your coffers. So, like, you know. You don't have to make bad things to do that.
Yeah, yeah. A thing that did not make me angry, but made me have a weird think, was Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I said something to you guys last week when we were, just before we brought Dave Lang onto the call, that made you guys go, what? Save that thought. That's content.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yes.
That was a thing.
Yep. It was when I said, playing Super Mario Maker 2 made me realize that the Wii U was the apex.
Yeah, that, feelings.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying I love my Switch. My Switch is fantastic. And very, very rarely have I ever run up against, like, a design limitation of the Switch as a console object. Like, it almost never happens. Like, normally, like, when I'm playing with the Switch, I'm like, this is a comfortable device, with the exception of the size of the face buttons and how low the profile is of the thumbsticks. But those are, like, but they're not, like, deal breakers. The buttons aren't, like, so small that I just want to, like, throw it out a car window or something. Like, I wish the profile on the thumbsticks was higher. I wish the buttons were a little bit bigger. But other than that, the actual ergonomics of the device and the way the game, the way the console is designed and the way that games exist on that console is cool. But there were a few franchises on the Wii U that made very, very specific and good use of the features of the Wii U. And probably the chief amongst those was Super Mario Maker. Super Mario Maker was designed for you to sit with the Wii U gamepad in your lap with the stylus doing very, very careful, fine work in level design, because you can get very, very granular and do very complex stuff very quickly with a stylus, when you're building a level. And because Nintendo couldn't expect everybody to be doing the design on screen, like in handheld mode, holding a stylus, they couldn't design around a stylus. And also because of the way the Switch is designed, by definition, there will not be people who have a screen in two places, because the Switch doesn't allow for a screen to exist in two places. You can't have a gamepad in your lap and then the game up on your screen, so that way you can be managing design stuff down here and then testing the level on your television. Like the model for like the most frequent use of Mario Maker was design in your lap, test on your TV. Design in your lap, test on your TV. And using the stylus for the design and then using the gamepad for testing. And so, like, what I'm finding, because, like, I've been in there, plugging away on designing a level, and because I'm a real perfectionist about this shit, is that it's a huge pain in the ass, because, like, I'll want to have, like, the game pad in, like, handheld mode, and I bought a stylus specifically that'll work for the Switch, because the Switch won't even, like, say, won't even work with the Wii U stylus, because the stylus isn't capacitive, and the Switch will only work with a capacitive stylus. Nor would you want the Wii U stylus to work on the Switch, because the Wii U was specifically designed to handle a stylus with a hard nib, but you wouldn't want to use a hard nib stylus on the Switch screen because it might scratch the screen. So you have to find a capacitive stylus with a soft nib. And then, like, one of the great things about the Wii U gamepad was, because it was designed to have a stylus, there was a place for the stylus to live when it wasn't in use. So I bought a fucking stylus. I have a box for the stylus. The stylus in the box live beside my Switch now. And so when I'm designing, I have the gamepad out and I'm working with that. And because they also had to, like, change design functions to account for the fact that people wouldn't have a stylus, you can no longer be as, like, fine and do as, like, granular, like, say, copies and drags, or, like, a lot of stuff that you could do very, very easily previously, you can't now, because they have to account for the fact that, like, oh, well, if you're touching the screen, you might be touching the screen with something as fat as your finger, So it's no longer allowing for those like very, very fine specific touches. It's like, oh, that might be a finger. So we have to assume that you're touching a larger area. And it's like, oh my goodness. This makes this so much more frustrating. Also, like, there were lots and lots of menus previously that accounted for, like, you just, like, pulling and dragging and tapping with a stylus, that now they have to account for somebody sitting on a couch who isn't even holding the Switch, that they might be trying to design with a controller. So now there's a whole bunch of, like, radial wheels and things that you're selecting from, like moving from one radial wheel to another radial wheel to another radial wheel. And things before where, like, let's say you wanted a red Koopa in Mario Maker 1. You would grab the Koopa off the main item menu up at the top of the screen, and then with your stylus, you would shake the Koopa. Kind of like it was like a very intuitive, organic system. So that way you would have to have less total buttons, and then and then you would just like interact with the object to make it work differently. Like, oh, you want to make a hidden block? Grab a question block, shake it, and then turn it into a hidden. That'll turn it into a hidden block. Oh, you want a red Koopa? Grab the green Koopa, shake it. It turns it into a red Koopa. Now, you can just grab wings off the bar up top, and then drag the wings onto the Koopa, and that makes it a flying Koopa. Flying red Koopa. And so, like, it had very, like, organic, intuitive systems for, like, the way you would mix and match parts, and the way you would touch everything, so that way you could, like, create very, very finely tuned, specific levels very, very easily. And because they needed to account for the fact that the Switch only has one screen, the Switch can't account for the fact that people aren't using a stylus, like, it's taken what was probably my favorite video game experience of the last 10 years and, like, dulled it.
Damn.
And I want to, like, make sure I'm clear here that, like, I love Mario Maker 2. Mario Maker 2 is very good. But if you're going to take probably one of my favorite video game experiences, if not my favorite video game experience of all time, and then make it shittier, like, it's a real disappointment because, like, the thing is I recognize the idea that on balance, the Switch is a superior machine. But in this one respect, in this one thing, the Wii U was superior. Like, if Nintendo had sold, like, a special Joy-Con that was, like, a repeater screen that was like, hey, this just has the TV feed on it too. Like, it dumps the TV to this, like, special jumbo Joy-Con. So, like, you're getting your TV's feed on the Joy-Con as well. And it, strangely enough, comes with a stylus. Also, this controller is, like, I don't know, $175. Like, because if you had to buy a replacement gamepad for your Wii U, which you could only do through Nintendo, I think it was $175. If Nintendo had done that, if they were like, buy this fucking thing, I would have done it. Like, it is that significant an impact to the quality of life of playing Mario Maker. Like, and it's so weird because, like, there were so few, there are so few games where there's that much lost in the experience. Like, you know, like Captain Toad. Like, there was a little bit lost with Captain Toad because, like, Captain Toad was a game that, like, had a lot of, like, dragging on the screen when you played it. But they found good ways of, like, working around that when they did the Switch game. But there were very, very few Switch games. I'm sorry, very, very few Wii U games that embraced all of the available functionality of having there be two screens and one that you could reliably assume is in your lap and then one which has got distance from you and using a stylus. Like there was like one mini game in Nintendo Land, which was the Luigi game where one person is Luigi and then one person is a ghost. So, like, Luigi can't see the ghost all the time, and the person playing the ghost is using the gamepad, that kind of thing. Like, there were very few games that, like, took advantage of that. And Mario Maker was like just the absolute pinnacle of that as design. And it was just, here's 2-screen gameplay and design mechanics all fused together in this very, very perfect way. Like, I almost hooked my fucking Wii U back up. Like, it was that big a deal. It's like, man, like, I pushed through it. I did not hook the Wii U back up. But it's a game that probably, like, if Mario Maker 2 had these design considerations, I would say, like, I'm on the road to having over 1,000 hours in this. Because the amount of hours that I dumped into Mario Maker 1 were fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. There was a day where one day where I literally woke up, I had breakfast, and then I was like, I'm on a Mario Maker. And then I looked up, and it was 19 hours later. Like,
yeah, that'll happen.
Wow, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, like, there were days where I would, like, have to plug in the gamepad, because otherwise, like, the gamepad would have lost juice multiple times. Mario Maker was real, and this... Nintendo is normally very, very good about understanding what is required in order for something to happen. You know, like, there's a thing that we're going to talk about in news, which will be the Switch Lite. And, like, very, very early on, like, they communicated certain things can't be done on Switch Lite. Like you can't use Nintendo Labo on Switch Lite just because it won't fucking work. And I'm surprised that nobody looked at Mario Maker and said, like, hey guys, we need to keep this thing in the lab longer to make sure that the experience is as good or better than what we offered last time. Because what we're sending out of the doors this time isn't. I hope that my Mario Maker speech did not sound off kilter, or that, like, I don't enjoy the game. I love the game, but it is not the, like, absolute fucking, like, life-changing road to Damascus religious experience that the first one was.
Road to Damascus, though. But that makes sense. I get that. What else have you been playing?
Oh, man.
Nothing. He spent 19 hours on Mario Maker.
No, Mario
it's
Maker.
Only been Mario Maker.
No, I spent 19 hours in one day on Mario Maker 1 on the Wii U. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
it doesn't matter. You still spent 19 hours on Mario Maker.
Yeah, is that, like, I had, like, a day where I sat down and I played, like, 4 hours of Mario Maker 2 in one sitting, and playing 4 hours of Mario Maker 2 in one sitting, I was like, man, this isn't like the old days. You know, like, this isn't like that bonkers shit, because it's just so much harder, and not in good ways. It's not harder because it's a more challenging or complex set of systems. It's just because you've stripped away all the features for, like, usability. I've also been diving into the Hitman 2 expansion.
Yeah. How's that bank?
Oh my god, the bank is so fucking good. The bank is so good. Like, one of the things I love about Hitman is, like, the way, like, various spaces work, and you know, levels of access, and the way spaces synergize with, like, costumes and all the little different, like, environmental stories that exist within the level. And this level, this bank in New York, is, like, all of those things brought together in the best possible way. Like, it's Hitman's absolutely perfect dry sense of humor, executed flawlessly. Like, one of the things that, like, okay, so when you the level opens with, like, 47 walking into the lobby of this bank, and you're immediately, like, I guess, floored with just, like, the idea of, it's like an old New York bank, an old New York New York bank. It's like one of those 1880s marble floors, high ceiling.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you're like, man, this is a fucking bank in the banking district of New York. You're like, I can't just take my shit out and just start shooting people. Like, you're like, how to like navigate this space and get through it. And so one of the first things I did was to like duck into the bathroom to kind of like build a plan. And so I go in the stall and I'm just sitting there like thinking, and I can hear two people talking in the stall next to me. Like I hear like muffled conversation in the stall next to me. And so like, I'm like, what is going on over there?
Who fucking chit chats on the toilet in a men's restroom?
I'm like, there are two people in there. And so, like,
wait, there are two people in one stall, or they're talking over the wall?
No, there are two people in one stall.
Oh!
And I'm like, what's going on in there?
That is suspicious.
Oh, no!
And so, like, I exit, and I lockpick that open, and it's
and they look at you like, what the fuck?
And then they slam the door shut and relock it, which almost never happens in Hitman. And I'm like, what is going on in there? And so I go back in there, and I'm just like, I need to find out what's going on. And this time I just like knock them out because I see that they've got like a bag with them. Mm-hmm. And there's also like a unused costume on the ground. And I'm like, oh, let me try on this costume. And it's a giant bunny suit with like a skull mask. They're bank robbers. The bag that was in there was like full of guns and explosives and shit. So like I this little organic story that exists within the environment is a story of like two robbers trying to psych themselves up to go out into the lobby and do their shit. And if you sit there in the bathroom listening to them through the wall, you can hear them talking to each other like, oh, we're just going to go out there. We're just going to fucking do this. There's an organic story that exists within the level about the IT department in this bank. Like I wandered down to the basement, to the IT dungeon, and
the IT dungeon.
The IT dungeon, and like there's a guy, and he sighs, and there's two of them in there, and like they're like
and they're both miserable because they're IT and they're in the dungeon.
Yep. And like they get a call, and he's like, "Okay, did you turn off your router and turn it back on?" And normally in the level, IT's access is confined to the basement, the first floor, and the second floor. But in the game, you can turn off your target's. You can turn off your target's router. At which point, she will then angrily call IT and be like, "My internet's not working." At which point, one of the NPCs from the basement will get up from his desk and go all the way to the top floor to just turn her router back on. And then prove to her that her internet's working again.
And just be like, you're being fucking dumb.
And I'm like, that's such like good environmental storytelling, and it's like, it's a cool way to like build contracts. There's also a guy in the level who's there for a job interview. And like, you can disguise yourself as him and do the job interview.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a guy.
Do you get the job?
You can get the job, Tegan. Not only that, not only that, you can do so well in the interview that they give you an even better job than you were expecting. They can be like, "Wow, like you really tested out of, you tested super high. We're going to hire you to be this kind of banker."
Fuck yeah! Do the long con.
Yeah.
Can you just stay and work at the bank for like ever, and then kill the CEO or whatever?
So here's a fun way to kill the CEO. There's also somebody else in the building who's supposed to be fired that day.
Oh.
And the CEO specifically wants to shit on this guy and do the firing herself. And so you can
That's kind of an honor to be specifically fired by the CEO. You've pissed her off so much that she's gonna shit on you personally.
And so, like, you can disguise yourself as the guy who's supposed to, like, be fired. He's got on like this outrageous sweater, which has got like this giant like snowflake pattern on it, and you go up to like her office, and she's like being nasty to you, and like the office is like very visually suggestive of like 1930s like German cinema, and also kind of like has a vibe like like Cat People with David Bowie, and it's like there's a vibe, like, and there's definitely like a real look to the target in this level as well. Like you can see like what they're going for with the design of this character. And so her office is directly behind this giant clock in the bank. So like when you're in the lobby, you look up and you see this giant clock overlooking the lobby. Her office is behind that giant clock. And so it's casting a shadow across the whole room, and it's such a great thing. And so you're sitting in there, and she's like shitting on you, and she says to like you dressed as this guy, like, tell me, do you knit those sweaters yourself? And 47 replies like, man needs a hobby. And she, while she's like dunking on you, an opportunity presents itself to like push her through the clock, so she tumbles like 3 stories into the lobby of the bank
and smashes her head open on the marble floor.
Yes, and
oh my god, beautiful!
Perfect. And there's so much cool stuff in this level. There's
That's an excellent sweater, though. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Good job, my dude.
There's also like this thing that you have to do in the level, which is to get inside of the bank's vault. And like once you're inside of the bank's vault, there are there's patterns of lasers within the vault that have to be like avoided and navigated in order to get to what you need. And so like you then pull out this thing from the vault, which is a data core. And while you're carrying the data core, everyone is suspicious of you. So even now that you've killed the lady, you have to find a way to get out of the bank with the data core, either unseen or unsuspiciously. And it's such a fun puzzle. It's such a good level. There's so many different stories that go on in the level. There's a way to crash the whole goddamn stock market to create a distraction.
Oh, shit.
You can, like, walk up to the counter, like, in the bank, in line at the bank, and be like, I'd like to open an account with a sizable amount of funds. At which point, like, a guy, like, takes you in a little room to find out just how much money you want to deposit, which is, like, a great opportunity. Like,
which is, like, so much money,
there's
please.
So much. Like, Hitman levels are fun because they're these, like, amazing little, like, clockwork puzzles. Like, there's so much going on in a Hitman level at once. And, like, and this is, like, peak Hitman. There's so much Hitman going on. So many little goofy Easter eggs, and like even the names of the robbers, if you listen to those robbers in the bathroom long enough, you hear what they call each other. They call each other Gourd and Sugar Squirrel. Are both of you young enough that you're not getting this joke?
I know it's from Pulp Fiction, but also because we talked about it last week.
I have no idea.
Fuck me, Rocky. I'm sorry. All of our listeners, I apologize. I promise I'm not this bad normally. I'm only this bad, like, on average once a month. But yeah, like, it's so full of stuff. So full of stuff. One of the things that I have been occupying myself with recently in the level is finding safety deposit box keys and then going down to the safety deposit box area. There are various different cool things in various different safety deposit boxes. there is a safety deposit box where if you actually find the key for the box and open it, instead of lockpicking it, what will be inside will be a giant like gush of blood that will just like paint all the walls in that room, and then an axe will fall out in like a Shining reference.
Ooh.
That's neat.
Yep.
I know one thing about The Shining, and it is the
that.
axe in the door.
Yep. So yeah, like strong reco. I know a lot of times DLC for games can be underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Not here. Absolutely not here. Like, this is easily the best level in Hitman 2.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess hard turn, shifting gears. Stuff is happening in Hearthstone.
Again?
Yes.
Stuff happens at Hearthstone periodically, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they have an expansion which is coming out next month.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that they are doing in preparations for that expansion, which is going to be called Shadows of Oldham, is that each year Hearthstone does an event during July, which is the Fire Festival. Only this year, the event that they've been running for years called the Fire Festival, which is like about the character of Ragnaros in World of Warcraft lore. They've kind of leaned into the lulz joke, been like Fire Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're running this like timed single player event where you can like not just like rack up a bunch of gold to buy packs later, but you can also rack up free packs of Shadows of Oldham, which will be available to you like in August. So you like rack up these free packs, and you just see them like sitting in your like to be opened pile, and you just see that they're gift wrapped and it says available in August. So you're earning packs that like you're not gonna have to pay for, and they like have increased like the gold earned for everything during the Fire Festival. Like there was a daily quest that was literally just like play 3 games. That was it. Just play 3 games, not even win the games, not even do anything in particular. In those games, just play 3 games, reward 300 gold.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I most appreciate about the design of Hearthstone. And it's something which, like, I think goes back to one of the things that Tegan has mentioned, more than once, is the idea that, like, it's a game that, like, say something like Love Nikki or Dr. Mario World would, in theory, only be accessible by spending real-world money. Like, the idea that, like, there's some kind of, like, artificial limit placed in the game that says, like, in order to succeed at this game, you have to spend actual human currency. Blizzard understands that in order to create a play environment where people are going to spend human currency, the environment needs to be populated by human players.
Right.
And so if all you have is the paying player base, then it's not going to be a sufficiently large enough player pool to keep the paying players interested. So you have to find a way of keeping the players who are not paying relevant to both the paying players and keep those non-paying players not feeling overwhelmed at the players who do pay. So by creating mechanisms to give people the resources to get new cards without spending money, it keeps like free-to-play something which is actually viable in Hearthstone. Like, there are not a lot of free-to-play games out there where, like, that is a phrase which is genuine. Like, a lot of times, like, free-to-play is, like, a wink and nod phrase. Like, oh, this game is free-to-play. And that's not the case here. And, I really enjoy whenever they do, like, events like this because, like, a lot of times I'll end up, like, in the event with 20 like 2,000, 3,000 gold will end up translating to something like 20, 30 packs. And it's entirely conceivable to play this game and never spend a dime and be just fine. And I always worry that at some point the other shoe is going to drop with Activision. And they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute. This Hearthstone game. What do you mean people can play without spending money? What the fuck is this? Don't you know that we're the house that COD built? Like, put Potleaf card backs in there now.
Oh my god.
Put a card in that says no scope that you have to spend $20 to get. We want the no scope card. And I'm here to tell you, if there is ever the no scope card, I'm fucking out. I'm out. Make it a place where people can play without having to spend money, please. Yeah. Even if I choose to spend money, I want to know that I can encourage my friends to play and know that I'm not telling them to fall down a fucking nightmare hole. So I have another order of business, which I think you guys have been wanting to talk about for a while. So I'm going to stick a pin in that one for a second and get through the thing that I think few of you will care about, so I can just bang my tambourine for it, and then we can get into the thing that I think you guys want to talk about. I was originally supposed to go to this event in New Jersey on July 4th, which didn't come together for me because of some personal shit, which meant I couldn't go. It was this event that was being put on by a company called JCW. The event was just called Backyard Wrestling, and where they were going to have a whole bunch of their normal great wrestlers wrestling, plus with a bunch of guys who were known in the backyard scene. And they put on a show. The show was fucking wild. The show included various things like a guy driving a car into a pool. There were three trampolines. Someone took a light tube to their bare ass.
Jeez.
What?
And
what? Wait. Why?
Like in a spanking motion.
Yes.
Assuming.
Okay. So not like a sword strike.
Yeah, no thrusting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. I got scared. I got real scared.
No, Tegan, we are not here for broken glass up the butthole. We're not. We're not that show. We're not going to advocate. Right? We're not going to advocate for that here.
Okay.
And probably one of the greatest things I've ever heard on commentary on a wrestling show was when hardcore gang-affiliated deathmatch wrestler Nick Gage was sitting on commentary. A man, who's been to jail twice. A man who robbed a bank. The hardest motherfucker alive, Nick Gage. He's just sitting there in commentary and he says to somebody, it's what? You think I'm not hard because I like cupcakes?
Cupcakes are fucking delicious.
Right. And so I'm man, it's why is somebody going to fucking start shit with Nick Gage because he likes cupcakes? But I bring up Backyard Wrestling because one of the things that happened at this show was there was a match between a guy named Alex Zane and a fella named Tony Deppen. And over the course of the last year, there have been so many matches where these people will become these giant stars who wrestle against these two fellas, KTB and Tony Deppen. The person who KTB or Tony Deppen is wrestling against becomes an overnight sensation. They become a huge star.
It's the Good Luck Chuck of wrestling.
Yeah, and the thing is that you're much like with dancing, you're only as good as the one you're dancing with. And
yeah.
So people might see someone be amazing in this match and be holy shit, Marco Stunt is amazing, or Jungle Boy is amazing, or whatever. And it's well, that person is amazing, and that's true, but you have to be able to make that person shine. And Tony Deppen is fucking amazing. And so, like, I have been out here on the internet, like, shouting for Tony Deppen now for, like, some time. And there is specifically this thing that happens in indie wrestling called the Battle of Los Angeles, which is probably the most highly regarded tournament in indie wrestling. Like, it is the annual gathering of the best of the best. You know that you were in the top fucking tier if you were in the Battle of Los Angeles. I want Tony Deppen in the Battle of Los Angeles. I don't want necessarily all the people that Tony Deppen has been fighting in the Battle of Los Angeles. I want Tony Deppen in the Battle of Los Angeles because he is the fucking peanut butter that holds this sandwich together. He is holding this shit down. He's amazing. He's like the Bret Hart of our time. He is the fucking best. He tweeted, after the Backyard Wrestling show, he's like, yep, I did that show for my regular fee, plus I wanted to keep one of the trampolines from the show.
How do you go into that? So, like, I will do this show, but I have one condition. I want to keep a trampoline.
I mean, they probably just let him have it. Like,
yeah, they probably would have just let him have it. Like, he doesn't even need to ask. It's a trampoline.
Well, like,
what are
in
they
lieu
gonna
of
do
wages. That was the thing. Like, I mean, they could probably use it for another show. Like, maybe someone decides to hardline on the trampoline, but it's just like, what for?
And so, like, I've been, like, tweeting off and on since April using the hashtag Deppen for Bola. I got a few other people tweeting it too. I'm going to irritate people with Deppen for Bola whenever I can, find someone who will listen. And so I felt so happy yesterday because the way Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, the outfit that runs the Battle of Los Angeles, does the announcements for talent for that tournament, is they do one announcement each day. Like here's one of the entrants for this year. Here's one of the entrants for this year. And yesterday they announced Tony Deppen is the 10th entrant in the 2019 Battle of Los Angeles. And I'm like, fuck it. We did it, fam. Tony Deppen's in Bola. I suppose now I have no excuse. I need to find a way to get to Bola. But yeah, I'm pleased as punch. Absolutely pleased as punch.
Shoutouts.
Yeah. They're a weird outfit. Like, they can't, like, live stream their shows because they a lot of times will use talent that has contracts, which has stuff like conflict clauses, like no competition clauses, that specifically cite streaming. And so the only way they can really put together their shows is to, like, run the show and then put out a Blu-ray later with the matches. Mm-hmm. So, like, the event will happen and then, like, a month later you get, like, a Blu-ray in the mail. And you just hear all these people, like, talking about the show live as it happens, like, Bola was nuts! And then, like, a DVD shows up in everybody's mailbox a month later. Like, I'm like, I should fucking go. He's in the show. It's going to be crazy. I sent you guys a GIF earlier of Tony Deppen doing Tony Deppen things.
Yeah, it jumps through between the top rope.
Yeah, he does a tope suicida into a Canadian destroyer. And it's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. You're like, you're doing that in a backyard in front of like 50 people, partially in exchange for that fucking trampoline in the background. It is just, it melts my brain.
That one was for the trampoline, folks.
Yeah, that's the trampoline move right there. So, I guess now that I've, like, banged my tambourine about shit that nobody cares about. What, Rocky? What? I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
The image of you banging a tambourine is amazing, though.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's like, well, at least we got that out of it, Brian. Please move on from the thing no one cares about. I guess I'm anime now? Am I anime?
You've watched some anime. You're definitely among us.
Am I anime?
Welcome to anime.
I mean, you've been among us. It's just like you're current anime now.
I'm not current anime because this anime's old.
Well, but it's re-release, so you're like...
You're part of the conversation.
Yeah, you're part of the conversation.
So I watched that there Evangelion.
The Evangeline? You saw it?
The Marianne Williamson show. I watched all the show. Apparently there are movies. I haven't watched those movies. But I watched all the
There are
show.
a lot.
Man, there was a lot to process.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time we checked in on me watching this show...
You're like episode 8.
Yes.
No, episode 6. You hadn't hit
Episode
8
6,
yet.
yeah, you hadn't even met Asuka. How do you feel about Asuka?
I have so many feelings about Asuka that
Is
have
she
to be...
the best girl, or is she the best girl?
Well...
She's
All right.
the
Okay,
best,
maybe
right?
maybe I have an easier question for you. So how do you feel about the stuff that was happening to Rey, man?
How do you feel about Rey in general, man? How's Shinji? Is he okay? How do you feel about our child?
Okay.
Sorry, that was mean. That was unkind.
This is a very dense show.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope I'm not sounding reductive by even saying that. Like, the episode 18 to 19 transition,
If you could call it that.
that is some, like, you are gonna fucking need a hug and need a support structure shit.
Uh-huh.
It's real, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Man, oh man. But I guess to, like, Tegan's first question, like, Asuka, like, Asuka's probably the thing that you can point to most easily to, like, highlight the fact that, like, this show is itself a deconstructionalist examination of anime. This show has things to say about anime, and I didn't get that memo going into it. I didn't realize that, like, it was also, like, commenting on and criticizing a whole bunch of, like, anime and anime tropes that existed prior to the show. And so, like, when they introduced the character of Asuka, and she's, like, this incredibly, like, tropey loud girl.
She's so good.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this tropey loud girl? And then the show's like, oh, you thought that she was just this tropey loud girl.
Yep.
You thought she was the OG Soon? You thought this loud German girl was just a Soon? Please.
Yeah, they're like, we see your ass. Here is the current location of your ass.
Here is also your head, which is so far up your own ass that you don't see. Asuka.
And I was just like, oh my fucking god. Like, so much of this show is about trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Every character is about the way they have reacted to loss, to trauma. And it's not just like, say, a hero's journey thing too. Like,
No.
even the characters that are shitbags. Like,
Like Kaji? That piece of shit?
well, I was
Kaji.
specifically going to say, like, Shinji's fucking dad.
Shinji's
yeah.
dad's a dick.
Like, Shinji's
Fuck
dad,
Shinji's dad.
is, like, he's an unbelievable monster.
Yes.
But, like, so much of the story is driven by the way he reacts to trauma. Here's the story of the incredibly shitty and selfish way that Shinji's dad reacts to trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So much of this fucking story is about, like, the idea that we create different realities by the way we choose to react to pain. It's, man, oh man, oh man, it is just absolutely mind-blowing. There was something that friend of the show, Joe Spiro, said to me online when I posted that I had finished the show. And I then found out after he said it, it's a meme thing that is said about the show. I said, I finished watching the show. And he responded with, congratulations.
Congratulations! Yay!
And I was like, all right.
Like,
You're
fuck
like,
off.
why?
Yeah.
And,
I
It's like,
love
no,
it.
no,
Thank
no,
you,
no,
Joe.
no. You don't understand.
and I'm like, is there a lot of criticism of this show which now reduces it to, like, the meme of congratulations? I'm like, I'm going to take a peek at the internet. I'm like, oh, yup.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Yep.
There sure is a whole lot of, like, people out there who now reduce the show to, like, man, what the fuck is happening even during the last 2 episodes? Like, congratulations. What's that fucking all about? And I'm like, man, like, the end of this show is so fucking good. The end of this show is like this, like, ultimately very hopeful thing. And it leaves a lot in the viewer's lap. Mm-hmm. You know, like, you know, back to what we were talking about earlier about the idea of, like, the difference between, like, exegesis interpretation and eisegesis interpretation. Like, Evangelion demands eisegesis interpretation. It says, right, please bring all of your baggage to this show. Please bring everything that you have ever thought, touched, and felt to this show.
But Brian, without scripture, how are we going to argue about it on the internet?
Oh, God. It's transcendent. It's one of the best things I've ever had the privilege of watching. Each one of these characters, I could see rewatching this show
and focusing on any of the particular characters.
Yeah, and just like dwelling in that character in my consideration and being like, and having that being like, and now this is just like an even more satisfying viewing. If I'm just like, I'm going to rewatch this show and I'm just going to spend most of my time, you know, concentrating on, you know, like Misato's arc or.
Well, they do some of that in Rebirth, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Or like, man, Pen Pen
remains boys.
Pen as like symbolic allegory about Shinji's like emergent sexuality. There's so many scenes where Shinji is butting up against his sexuality, and then like Pen just walks into frame.
Yeah, that does happen.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is such a cool way to use what would normally be a tropey anime joke character. Like, please witness the Hot Spring Penguin, who just happens to, with unerringly 100% accuracy, walk onto screen whenever it is a scene explicitly about Shinji's sexuality. And it's like hanging a lantern on it and saying like, Anno sees your ass, check this out. It's like a reading tool for the show. Like, oh, this is about this. This is about this right now. Like, characters, I was fully expected to, like, all right, there was a series of reveals about the character of Ritsuko, you know, where we found out things about her, because, like, I was originally like, she's the best, and then I was like, fuck her, she's the worst. And then I was like, but wait a minute, but this, fuck. And I was like, oh, this show wants me to recognize, like, the dimensionality of these characters, and that, like, that it's very, very hard to just, like, discard or embrace someone wholly. Like, you know, people, it says, no, like, these people have failings. These people have successes. Like, they are more than one thing, which is a big idea. And then, like, the ending, which is this, like, long, beautiful, surrealist fucking head trip. We're just going to, like, dig through at a very high level some of the concepts that we've explored over the previous 24 episodes and be like, okay, like, it was kind of like closing arguments in a court case. And be like, okay, please don't try and get lost in just, like, the fine points of, like, what would be going on from, like, a plot perspective. At this point, we're not worried about plot. What we're worried about is themes. So we're going to spend 2 episodes just exploring the themes in, like, abstract ways. There's 2 sequences that, like, stood out to me as, like, absolutely perfect and just above fucking reproach. The one where Shinji is having the idea of, like, dimensionality expressed to him as limitation. If we add this plane, you know more, but you can do less. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Evangelion is like a thought buffet.
Yeah. Also, like, when they, like, smash cut without warning to this, like, hyper-tropey shonen fucking...
Oh, the OVA where they're all, like, happy kids at a high school?
Yes!
Yeah. And they're all, like, piloting because they want to and not because they're forced to.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my god. They're just, like, just the melt your brain kind of fucking shit. And it's just, it's so... Oh, guys, It's amazing. It's such a fucking good show. I absolutely loved it.
I'm glad you got to watch it.
Me too.
Yeah. I could tell you that, like, what I've been doing since then is I've been, like, wandering around Netflix being like, Brian's probably gonna watch some more anime.
Brian's probably gonna watch some more anime?
We did.
Nothing you watch is going to be like Evangelion, though. Unless you want to watch Darling in the Franxx, which is exactly like Evangelion, but different.
Yeah. Is that on Netflix?
No. I don't think so. Not yet. It's got too many titties.
Oh,
There are a lot of titties.
Netflix has ample titties.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Tegan, I want to say something, and I hope you're not going to put me on blast for it. What? I could hear you preparing the blast.
I'm preparing to hold it in. I'm bracing myself against my own blast.
Okay. I remember the very first time that Neo Yokio came up on the show.
Oh, God! Okay, yeah.
Tegan?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, here we go.
She's caught it.
That there was a lot of gatekeeping around that conversation.
Okay.
There was a thing that I just kept track of in the back of my head, you know, as I dug through Evangelion, which is like, am I going to come out the end of this show either thinking less of this other thing now that I've had a chance to, like, watch this thing, like, or because it's this, like, you know, highly regarded, revered, like, lion of this art form, like, you know, Evangelion is venerated, and well, if you look at the Sistine Chapel, will you then look at this and go like, this is literally a picture of someone's asshole drawn on the back of a cereal box? Like,
it's a painting of you blowing a dog.
It's a painting of you blowing a dog. And I did not arrive at the end of it thinking that Neo Yokio was a painting of someone blowing a dog. I was like, oh, I still feel like everything I thought about that show, I still think and feel.
That's awesome. That's a good thing.
And it makes me wonder, did you ever watch Neo Yokio?
I started to watch Neo Yokio and it made me mad, and so I quit watching Neo Yokio.
Can you define start watching? Are we talking 30 seconds or less here?
No, as a rule, for me, I give an anime 5 episodes to get me into it, just because a lot of times, like, the first episode is mostly exposition to, like, let you know what the fuck is going on, and then, like, the next couple episodes sort of build into that, and so by episode 4 or 5, depending on, like, the length of the season, I know whether or not this is an anime that I'm going to enjoy. And Neo Yokio just frustrated me. Because it's like, it's not an anime I can enjoy as an anime, if that makes sense. Like, I can enjoy it as like, haha, this is like a funny, like, general cartoon, but like, my brain is frustrated that it's associated with anime the same way that, like, my brain is frustrated that fucking butt-fighting anime is an anime. Like, it's the same kind of, like, this is just, I can't. I just can't.
Well,
I just can't. Makes me, ugh.
When I looked at, like, some of the things that, like, it was trying to accomplish as a piece of art, you know, focusing on one of the focuses of the show being, like, deconstructionist examination of the type of art which it is. You know, like, Evangelion is anime, which has things to say about anime.
Yes.
You know, right.
Evangelion's also an anime that has things to say about fans of anime, which is explored more in, like, the subsequent movies, which is really fun for me.
Right. One of the appeals of Neo Yokio for me was the idea of something which is a deconstructionist approach to the way Western people, specifically Americans, consume Japanese art.
Mm-hmm.
It is pointing at a lot of Americans who consume Japanese art and being like, I see your ass. And also, like, talking a lot about the way capitalism impacts art. And, you know, that is also, like, you know, interesting topic to me. And it felt like, you know, these were themes and ideas that were big ideas, and it was a big idea show. And it was especially appealing because it was a big idea show that was, like, only 6 episodes long. And so I didn't know how long you gave it before you threw the baby in the bathwater out, like whether it was like 5 minutes an episode, more than one episode.
No, it was like, it was four whole episodes, and I was like, can't keep going. Can't bring myself to keep going. And then I saw there was a Christmas special, and then I was like, no.
Yeah, the Christmas special was really good.
I'm genuinely glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But Neo Yokio, not for me.
And that's a bummer, but I also know different strokes for different folks, and and taste is different for reasons, and I want everybody to like the art they like, and then just let other people like the art that they like. The only point of it I wanted to revisit was just like the idea that, like, one of the things that we said when that show came up in the first place, that you said repeatedly, and I wanted to mention in the context of our Zelda conversation earlier, was and to find out whether this was a bit or not, was that you said over and over again the first time Neo Yokio came up was, it's not an anime. I wanted to find out whether or not that's a bit.
It's half a bit. On a fundamental level, that is an anime. The same way that fucking butt anime is an anime. Like, it's by a professional animation studio, it's in the Japanese art style, it comments on a lot of the same sort of, like, tropey things. Like, it's an anime. I don't want it to be an anime. I personally don't want it to exist in the same space as, like, what I consider traditional anime. But I do want, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender to exist in that space where anime, like, that anime is an anime, because I want it more as, like,
Okay. No, Tegan, I think I get it.
Yeah. It is an anime. Like, Neo Yokio is an anime. I don't want it to be an anime, but it is an anime. And, like, so when I say it's not an anime, I'm saying it's not my brand of anime.
Okay. And I think that's more where I was getting, because the thing that you didn't say, the thing I hoped that you were not going to say. So hooray.
Which was, it's not an anime because it's by, like, a Western guy for a Western audience.
Right. Do we want to talk about the fucking news?
I mean, I guess we could talk about the fucking news.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Tegan.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time where, like, 4 or 5 months ago, I wanted to talk about the Switch Lite that we didn't know the name of yet because there were leaked the details from the production facility, and we didn't?
Yeah.
Tell me about the Switch Lite.
Can I tell you about the Switch Lite? Okay. So, like, the Switch Lite is coming. It's coming. It's gonna arrive everywhere on September 20th for $200, and in 3 colors. One of them is gray, so I don't think that counts as a color. So really 2 colors, yellow and turquoise, but also gray. There are no removable Joy-Cons on this one. It is handheld mode only. Cannot connect to a TV. Will not connect to a TV. No removable Joy-Cons. So if you want to play any games that need, like, additional Joy-Cons, like, you need to be able to remove the Joy-Cons for them, like Super Mario Party or whatever, you have to buy additional Joy-Cons. You have to. It is required. Every game that supports a handheld mode will be able to be played. It doesn't have, like, any of the, like, super cool features from the cool Joy-Cons, so, like, no No, like, high-def rumble or anything. Yeah. It's also gonna come with... There's gonna be a cool Pokemon Sword Shield version that's, like, light gray and has the legendaries on it. But it's also got, like, blue buttons on the left side and red buttons on the right side, which looks really cool. And there are also rumors that the current Switch model is getting an upgrade based on, like, documents that the FCC has received. The current Switch is going to be getting a new processor, some flash memory, and a motherboard to accommodate upgraded components, but there haven't been, like, any additional commentary past that.
Yep.
But yeah, Switch Lite. It's a thing.
Ooh.
I'm sure Brian has a lot of opinions on this.
Sure do.
It's been backed up a couple months.
Yep.
Are you ready to let them loose?
So, this doesn't have detachable Joy-Cons. This doesn't have HD rumble. This doesn't have an IR camera. But you know what it does fucking have, Tegan?
Multiple colors?
Sure, it's got that. You know what else got?
What?
It's got a fucking D-pad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does have a D-pad.
I swear to God. Like, Nintendo.
It's got a D-pad.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And it took, less than a day, a couple hours.
Yep.
For someone to say, hey, Nintendo, couldn't help but notice that your Switch Lite has got a fucking D-pad on it. Are there any plans to release left Joy-Cons with a fucking D-pad?
Uh-huh.
I've been meaning to get a new left Joy-Con.
And Nintendo said, yeah, no, not at all. No plans. None.
Oh, man.
And, okay. So, Mario Maker has really brought me back to spending a lot of time playing 2D platformers on my Switch that require rapid, specific movement of the D-pad. You know what's not really fucking conducive to that, Rocky?
Not having a D-pad?
Not having a fucking D-pad. When they're like, no, here, hey dog, here's just some buttons. And anybody who's ever tried to play a 2D platformer, which requires specific, discrete movement with an analog stick, knows that that's a feeling that's so bad, you might as well just go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a bad feel. So, man, oh man, oh man. So when they're like, hey everybody, here's the Switch Lite with the D-pad. And it's like, okay, Nintendo, I understand why you want to only put out left Joy-Cons with buttons and no D-pad. I understand why you want to do that. Let me explain to you why you're fucking wrong. Okay? Because what they're thinking is, it's like, oh, we want all of our left Joy-Cons to always be able to be, taken off the device and then used as a independent controller held sideways for games. Yeah. They want you to be able to hand that fucking controller to some nerd so that way they can play Mario Kart with it.
Sure.
Newsflash, Nintendo. On your own device, people have been using directions on a D-pad as button inputs for fucking years. Years. There is no fucking reason that I can't take a left Joy-Con held sideways as a controller and not use the four sides of a D-pad as button inputs playing a game that requires button inputs. And then I know the other side of it is Nintendo is scared of requiring more work for any kind of third-party partner porting games to the Switch in the event that, like, there are two possible types of inputs for the left Joy-Con held sideways. They're like, oh man, like, if we're going to have, like, on-screen button prompts, that tell people how to do things, and this guy over here is holding a controller with fucking buttons, and this guy over here is holding a controller with a D-pad on it, that's going to require more work to port a game from a partner. And so, will they bother to do the port if there's more work required for, like, creating on-screen prompts? To those people, to Nintendo, I would say, like, hey, Nintendo, have you ever looked at a fucking PC port? Like, you will load up a PC game, and PC games will be like, oh, you're using mouse and keyboard. Here's on-screen prompts that recognize mouse and keyboard. Oh, you're using an Xbox One controller. Here's on-screen prompts for Xbox One controller. Oh, you're using a PS4 controller. Here's on-screen prompts that recognize a PS4 controller. People are already used to creating a single version of a game that requires multiple on-screen prompts depending on the controller usage. Like, it's no big deal. Nintendo, don't worry about it. You sold enough fucking Switches to make the effort of porting games to your console worth it. Like, people want to get onto your thing. You've got the install base. Creating a single additional user interface for on-screen prompts is not going to chase some company off if they weren't already committed to not really supporting your device and just looking for excuses. Looking at you, Electronic Arts. But making your user experience worse because you want to try and communicate a message which has already been clearly communicated. The idea that you can take the controllers off the side of the Switch is intrinsic to the design of the fucking device. I know I could take the things off the side of my Switch. It's what I do with it. You know what? The name of the device is the fucking Switch. Mystery solved. It's the Switch. Ugh.
There's no switching on this one, though.
Give me a fucking Joy-Con with a D-pad. Please. For the love of God. So, like, the idea that here comes the Switch Lite, and because the Switch Lite doesn't switch, in Nintendo's eyes, there's no reason for there to be a D-pad there. And so, there's no reason for there to be buttons there because it doesn't switch. So instead, it's got a fucking D-pad. Nintendo, come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. And also, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, man, just a little bit smaller Switch with a nice, like, plastic body and a D-pad. I'm looking at this fucking Switch going, you know what I'd really like to use a Switch Lite for? You know what I'd really like to use a Switch Lite for? I would like to use a Switch Lite as a controller to play Mario Maker on my couch. Earlier I said I'd spent $175 on a controller that was the Wii U gamepad for my Switch. I'll go you one better, Nintendo. I'll give you that 25 extra bucks, and I'll just buy your fucking Switch Lite if I could use a Switch Lite to control my Switch. Which should be conceivably easier, since the thing already has, like, its own, like, decent, dedicated, like, processor inside. Like, it's a fucking Switch. Can you stream the screen output from the Switch to my Switch Lite at the same time as the HDMI is handling the output of the television? Because that would sure make creation in Mario Maker 2 easier. The thing that really, I think, will expose not necessarily physical design failings, but necessarily network infrastructure failings is the way Nintendo is currently handling cloud saves and user profiles. Because the Switch Lite is cheap enough and small enough that it is kind of appealing to people who primarily play their Switches in docked mode. Like, I primarily play my Switch in docked mode. My Switch almost never comes out from underneath the television. Until Mario Maker 2, which, like, really necessitated it, the Switch, like, generally lives under the television. Like, I really don't have a need to play it in handheld mode. But, like, looking at the Switch Lite, it's like, man, like, if Nintendo really managed the way they did cloud saves like any other modern tech company, then I could just buy a Switch Lite, throw it in my book bag for work, and so that way, like, I could just fuck with anything while I'm at work with my Switch Lite, my Switch for the Go. And I know that, like, Nintendo's whole idea as to, like, why your cloud save profile shouldn't exist across multiple devices at once is they're like, well, you could take your Switch with you. And I'm like, I understand you can take your Switch with you, but what is the fucking point of offering cloud saves unless it is going to support going back and forth between devices, individual devices? Like, otherwise you might as well not, like, offer cloud saves. And, like, I know that their talking point is like, well, cloud saves exist for purposes of, like, recovery, if, like, your device becomes damaged or whatever. Like, the idea that you can get your save back to your device, singular. But, like, Nintendo, if you offered modern cloud saves, you could literally sell me a whole other fucking Switch. Because either there's a Switch that lives under my television that I would like to continue to live under my television, just because that's, you know, that's what it does. That's what that Switch does down there. Because I don't generally play a ton in the handheld mode. But if I could have a second, like, because the Switch is a large device. It's a big handheld. I prefer a smaller handheld. Something that would be just a skosh bit bigger than the Vita. If you give me a smaller handheld, I would probably be on that thing fucking constantly. Constantly. It's one of the reasons I loved the 3DS experience so much. Like you play the Switch, you're like, Jesus Christ, this thing is gigantic. Which really, like, lends itself to, like, sitting there on your couch and, like, it feels like a thing you do in your living room. It doesn't feel like a thing you do in your break room. You know, like, I don't know. Is any of this making any sense?
It's making a kind of sense.
Yeah, it's making a kind of sense.
All right.
I'll agree with that.
Okay, well, I hope at the very least the shit about the D-pad stuck.
I was here for that. I'm not especially mad about it. I know people who are. I'd appreciate a D-pad, but, you know, it's not wrestling my jimmies.
I would expect you, as a fighting game guy...
I don't play fighting games on Switch. That's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know Blaze Blue Cross Tag came out on it, and I played the demo on PS4 and Switch, and I just prefer the PS4 controller in my hand, and I didn't have the Pro controller yet. And the Pro controllers all have D-pads, so...
The Pro controller D-pad is dog shit. Dog shit. I would like to know how a company founded on fun card games and good D-pads could put out a D-pad that sucks as much ass as the Pro controller.
I love listening to Brian bitch about tech. That's part of my favorite experience here on this show.
I don't know if I'm being joked or not.
You're not being joked right now, man. Relax. Well, don't relax. That's the point. Tegan wants us to continue.
Oh, God. Jesus fucking Christ.
Like,
go ahead.
So, like, I understand your points, and they're all valid, but, when I saw the news, I was just like, is the yellow one cuter, or is the turquoise one cuter? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Tegan. I went through that entire process in my head, too. Mm-hmm. Because,
also, like who needs an infrared camera? Like,
okay,
seriously,
but
they don't use it for anything.
Right, but what conclusion did we come to? Is the yellow one cuter, or is the turquoise one cuter?
The turquoise one.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
I like the yellow one better.
Okay, why is the turquoise one cuter, Brian?
Okay, alright. So I like these particular shades of yellow and green.
Uh-huh.
Because they are very, very evocative of, like, mid to late 1950s industrial design.
Sure.
Oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting. Go on.
Yep. Like, you will see lots of, like, household objects like blenders and
toasters and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like and so the first thing I thought when I saw the Switch Lite was like, look at this thing that looks like it could have been made in 1957. It's so cute. And the turquoise one reminds me specifically of one of my favorite pieces of cute design or good design, which is also cute, which is the Hermes 3000, which is a typewriter.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sending me a picture of this fucking adorable typewriter.
Right.
In a lovely shade of mint, it looks like. Ooh.
That picture isn't quite getting the color quite right. It definitely, when you have a Hermes 3000 right in front of you,
it's like a minty kind of toothpastey color, isn't it?
Right. And so like I looked at the green Switch Lite and I was like, oh, you know,
turquoise. It's turquoise.
That's my Nintendo Hermes. You know, like it's a good boy. It's a good thing. Look at it with its fucking D-pad. And I had feelings.
And then Brian absolutely flew away on the D-pad track. It was just like, the green one's so cute, it's got a D-pad! And then Brian wanted the D real bad.
You see? That's right. Right. And I see what you did, and I know, and I don't care.
I know.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Everything is fine. Everything's fine. Rocky, why is the yellow one better?
So I love like canary yellow. Like it warms my soul. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't care too much for turquoise, which is ironic because I surround myself with various blues. Also, Brian, I'm not sure if turquoise is a green, but we're not going to do that today.
Oh, fuck off.
This particular Switch color is more evocative of like a Hatsune Miku turquoise green than like a true blue or a true green. So I think it's like the purest form of turquoise at this point.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, I just like canary yellow, and I don't have any particularly strong feelings for turquoise.
Awesome. I'm here to say you're both wrong.
Oh, okay.
The best one is obviously the Pokemon Sword and Shield limited edition one. Duh.
That's not fair.
It's got
That's
two
busted.
different kinds of buttons! Two different colors of buttons!
So, Tegan.
Yeah.
Generally, when people talk about hip-hop, there's a thing that you'll ask of a person, like, who's your top 5? You'll name your top 5 rappers or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then you tell them they're both wrong, and it's a rapper that isn't on the list at all.
Yeah, you can't put Andre 3000 on the list. It's fucking rude.
I can, and I did.
Like, it's unkind, and it's not a productive conversation.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the real problem, okay? So this thing comes out September 20th, correct? Correct.
Right.
What else comes out on September 20th? The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Is there going to be a bundle? Of
shit.
Fucking course there is. And that's going to be the best one because it's going to be green and gold or blue and gold. And it's going to be fucking great. It's going to be so good. And it's not here to be viewed yet. And I'm dying inside because I know it exists. I already know it exists.
Come on, Nintendo. Water Tegan's props. Show her the Link's Awakening Switch Lite.
Nintendo.
Well, Tegan, you know damn well that, like, Nintendo is got a pretty heavy schedule ramping up on, like, I think August 30th. Yep. Because that's when Astral Chain drops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's, we're 2 weeks away. Ooh, yep, we're 2 weeks away from, by the time you guys hear this, we're like a week away from Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then we got Astral Chain. And then, like, a month or 2 months later, like, around early October, we got Luigi's Mansion, according to Amazon. And then we got, like, and then we got, so we got Astral Chain, we got Fire Emblem Three Houses, we got Astral Chain, then we got Luigi, then we got, I'm doing this. Then we got Link's Awakening, then we've got then we've got Luigi's Mansion, and then we've got Pokemon.
All right.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be broke.
The thing I was trying to get to before we fell down that hole was that I feel like at some point within the next, like, couple weeks, I say get out your chibi robos. A direct is coming.
Oh, hell yeah, direct is coming.
Yeah, like, it feels like there's some more stuff that they want to message, and soon. So my guess is that what we're going to do is we're going to get probably on the other side of Fire Emblem, and then they're going to, like, do my guess is 25 to 30 minute-ish direct, which will lead with, like, hey everybody, Fire Emblem is out. Hope you're enjoying it. By the way, here's some more bombs about the stuff which is coming this fall specifically.
Luigi's Mansion, boom. Astral Chain, boom. Link's Awakening, boom.
Right.
Also, they're gonna announce the fucking Legend of Zelda bundle with the Switch Lite. Ooh, fancy.
And Tegan, as much as you're fantasizing about this Zelda Switch Lite is understandable, I feel like the real trick that they missed is a little bit different.
It's different?
Yep.
Why? What is it? What's that? What's that? Ooh! What's this? Ooh! Original
like
Game Boy coloring! Ooh!
Right, like
Ooh!
I think that if they had done a Switch Lite which looked like the original, DMG Game Boys, that they could have printed money.
What about a Switch Lite that comes, like, it's the variety, it's all of the colors that the Game Boy Color came in, but just slightly different. Like, instead of that lime green, they're doing the turquoise. Instead of the bright yellow, they're doing this more muted color. We could get, like, a soft champagne pink Nintendo Switch? Fuck! I need $200 extra.
There is a D-pad in the champagne room.
I need $200 extra. I need $900 extra. Can we get a clear one that we can see through?
Oh, like what is it called?
Line.
Atomic Purple?
Yeah. I'm dead. I've been murdered. Help, there's been a murder.
Rocky, talk to me about scumbags.
Oh, well, you guys know about G2A. I mean, it'd be weird if, like, any of us didn't really know about G2A, but in case...
I have a level of knowledge of... Okay. Let's just say...
I never know anything.
Let's just say that I might have more intimate understanding of the business practices of G2A than a casual observer that might lead me to believe that they're knowingly distributing stolen goods.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't know anything. G2A? G2TA?
Okay, so G2A is a gray market for selling Steam keys. Has been in the news for a couple of years because of its poor security, because of its contentious relationship with game devs, and because, of outright fraud. But this week, G2A is in the news because someone has been shopping a, quote, trans-written, unquote, pre-written, unbiased, so they say, article to various news outlets defending the marketplace, stating that it's, quote, pretty much impossible, unquote, to sell stolen keys in G2A despite claims to the contrary. The submitter was hoping to get it published without G2A's name attached to it, so it would seem legit. And naturally, it didn't come together. And the email submitting the article was leaked on Twitter. G2A has disavowed the action, and said that it was a lone actor. And they want to make amends by working with an independent auditor to ensure that stolen keys aren't sold on their marketplace. But, there's a big but here, for indie devs to assure this, what they'll need to do is register with G2A and tell them the keys that they don't want sold, and presumably G2A will stop the sale of stolen keys, or if they catch any, pay the devs like 10 times the cost or whatever. Which, sounds like a fucking trap, but that's where we're at.
Do they think people are stupid?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
No doubt in my mind.
They think they're stupid. Okay. G2A, you're stupid.
Yeah, right. Fuck.
Well, G2A, man. They don't just think that people are stupid.
Yeah.
They also think that
We're stupid.
that
I'm
people are unscrupulous. That people will not care about buying
Stolen goods?
stolen stuff if they get
Pot?
Yeah. It's like what's the harm in buying stolen goods? Like oh my god. Like all right.
Shit.
So, I've got the old G2A up in front of me. You know, here's some fun stuff which is up on G2A right now. Give me a current game. Give me a hot new game.
Hollow Knight. I don't know if it's like new, but like it's hot.
Sure. Okay.
Hot to trot.
Yep. Okay. Hollow Knight. How about Hollow Knight Steam key for looks like $8.98.
Jesus.
Yep. Hey, you guys know that Call of Duty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm aware of Call of Duty.
You've heard of the Call of Duty?
Which Call of Duty? There are like 20 of them.
Sure. You know, with their various boots, various grounds.
Yeah, various boots on various level of Earth.
Yep. What was last year's Call of Duty called? World War II?
No, last year's
Black
Call
Ops
of Duty
4.
was Black Ops 4.
Black Ops 4.
Brian doesn't even know which Call of Duty was the latest Call of Duty.
There's a lot of Calls of Duty.
I know, and there's a new Modern Warfare Call of Duty like they didn't already release a Call of Duty Modern Warfare and a Call of Duty 3 Modern Warfare and a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Like, fuck up.
How about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 for $12.99?
What?
Eh?
Jesus.
Nande.
Let's see here.
Is that real?
G2A knowingly traffics in stolen goods. In addition to stolen goods, another one of the things that they do is buy goods that have been purchased at face value by criminal organizations who then sell them below face value in an effort to launder money. So, like, let's say I own, I don't know, a heroin empire.
Sure.
Yes, Tegan?
I just pictured you with, like, a wife beater with, like, oh, it's funny, sorry.
Okay.
Picturing you owning a heroin empire.
Yeah.
Gave me a bad case of the giggles.
Let's say I've got all this money from heroin.
Yum. Tasty.
And, Rocky, let's say you're the government.
Sure, I'm the government. I'm the feds.
And Tegan, you're a bank.
Sweet.
So you can be Chase, you can be Wells Fargo, you can be whatever the fuck you want.
I'll be Wells Fargo, because they're, they had their own, like, scandal, so.
Okay.
I'll be Wells Fargo.
Hello, I am a man.
Hello, man.
I would like to deposit $10,000 or more.
Okay. Let me have your money.
Okay.
Is that how that works? That's how banks work.
Rocky, this is your cue.
Hi, I'm gonna take $10,000 from this dude so that I can put it in a bank account for him.
Oh, yeah, where'd that money come from?
Oh, I own a heroin empire. Whoops.
Oh, shit, then you're going to jail, fam!
Okay, now, let's say I do this. Let's say I have a heroin empire, and I go, gosh, if I put $10,000 or more from heroin in the bank all at one time, I'm going to go to fucking jail, and my criminal enterprise is going to be ruined. What I do instead is, let's say I go to GameStop, and I say, can I buy some Steam gift cards? And then I drive down the road to the next GameStop, and I buy some more Steam gift cards. And then I swing across town to the next store, and I buy some more Steam gift cards.
Wow, that's a lot of Steam gift cards, my dude.
Yep.
And then you go to, like, your local Kroger or whatever, and Walgreens, and you buy more Steam gift cards.
Yes, I do. And what I do is I work out a route on, like, a fucking map, and I say, like, I'm going to go to these 5 different retailers in 12 total different locations. I'm going to hit Kroger. I'm going to hit Best Buy. I'm going to hit GameStop. I'm going to hit Walmart. And I'm going to, like, work this loop every week buying Steam gift cards and then getting product keys for games. And then what I'm going to do...
Because Steam Wallet doesn't give up the information for that kind of stuff.
Yep. I'm then going to take those keys. I'm then going to take those keys to a company called G2A. And I'm going to say, like, hey, G2A, here's a game which is worth $20. Can I sell this game worth $20 to you for $3.10? And then they'll say, sure. And then they'll sell it for like $5, which is still 75% off of the sales price of the game.
So you're losing a lot of money.
I'm losing a lot of money, but you know what? I don't care.
Because I'm not going to jail.
Because you have a heroin empire.
Yeah, I'm looking for a way to be able to walk into the bank and hand you money. And so then when the government man says, where did that money come from? I can say, I sold some video games.
You know what you could also do, though?
Don't give them more ideas for money laundering, TK.
You could open up a pizza shop. And you could do your drug runs from the pizza shop.
I feel like this is the plot of a movie.
Like the mafia does.
It's not a movie, it's just a thing.
No, there's a pizza shop in my neighborhood, or not in my neighborhood, there's a pizza shop in my city that's owned by the mafia.
Yeah, it's just a real thing that actual criminals do.
Another thing that happens is various publishers will designate a certain number of product keys as being available in developing countries at lower prices in order to curtail piracy.
Right.
So they'll say, like, oh, okay, you know, like, there's not a great deal of money in Uzbekistan, and we'd like the people of Uzbekistan to buy this game instead of stealing it. So why don't we make a number of keys available only in Uzbekistan to the Uzbek people for like 95% off? So that way, hopefully, whatever customers who might want to play this game aren't out there looking for tools to facilitate piracy, which would then spread to every market. So there's lots of publishers who have what's called developing region keys. So let's say you're an asshole.
No way! I'm an asshole.
And you go to a developing region.
Oh, hell yeah, and I buy all of the game keys from that developing region for like a quarter the cost.
And then you go back to somewhere else.
And I sell them for the regular cost.
Yup.
And then I make lots of money.
Yup.
Why don't I do that? That sounds great.
Like, there are so many different ways that G2A is the most fucking scumbag network pile of shit monster demon fucks.
Yeah, man.
Man, like, tell us how you really feel.
You can be honest with your friends.
They are my arch nemesis.
Nemesis?
So, fuck them, feed them beans. I cannot with G2A.
I don't want to have to fuck someone and then feed them.
G2A is exhausting. Fucking exhausting. So, guys, Valve did a thing. And as our senior Valve correspondent, I felt my duty to report on it.
Okay. What'd they do this time?
They have introduced Steam Labs. So Steam Labs is a series of small projects which work based on machine learning. I feel like they are a mixed bag, my friends. So let me give you some details on these things. What they're calling them is dozens of experiments around discoverability, video, machine learning, and more. There are 3 Steam Labs experiments which are currently live. The first one is micro trailers, which are machine-produced abridged forms of trailers, which snap together like a few shots from like a larger video. The very longest one of these is 6 seconds long. So these like micro trailers are generally like a second or two, up to 6 seconds. And like it produces them, like if players have uploaded video from a game, it'll like look at uploaded video, it'll look at existing trailers produced by the publisher, and it will assemble like a up to 6 second video called a micro trailer. It does so automatically. There's also automatic show, which is like a half-hour long loop of like assembled micro trailers that is like put together and then presented to you. The micro trailer selection, the automatic show you get, the assembled like half hour of micro trailers. If you fuck with automatic show, what you get is based on your Steam profile. So like it will show you stuff in your automatic show that it thinks that you want to see. I tried it in preparation for this episode, and here to tell you that if it's curating based on anticipated user interest, automatic shows, not that great. Micro trailers, also not impressed. The real winner so far is Interactive Recommender. Interactive Recommender allows you to narrow things down based on popularity, age of the game, and then lets you include tags that you want the game to have or exclude. And this is based on your playtime history on the platform. So, what I found when I was fucking with the Interactive Recommender tool was that I was getting more interesting recommendations which were relevant to like the type of stuff that I'm interested in. Like, it was showing me games I was like, oh, like, that looks great. Like, I was seeing stuff that like, like I was like seeing, it was surfacing games that I had never heard of that instantly looked like more interesting, and like I was getting better content recommendations than I had really ever seen on Steam before. Like one of the first things it recommended me was like this game called like Heaven Will Be Mine. Which was like, I felt so personally targeted and seen when it recommended me this game. It's like Heaven Will Be Mine is a visual novel about making terrible life decisions in the midst of a hot-blooded battle between giant robots. Select one of 3 terribly behaved girls to fight and or make out with each other in their struggle for the fate of space. And it's like this retro throwback existentialist giant anime.
How are we talking about Evangelion
game.
again? How did we get there?
It's like queer science fiction mecha visual novel gets like pulled out of my Steam recommender like fucking first based on my play history, and I had never seen the game before. And I'm like, oh shit, like this looks fucking great. Like, I'm definitely gonna get this. How have I never heard of this game before? This is like straight up my jam. And it like kept on showing me like stuff that looked really, really cool. And as I fucked with the sliders and would like either tell it to include tags or exclude tags, I would get really, really interesting results. So like it's a cool thing. Like I just saw all these like games that like just jumped out at me in a big way. Like Ghost of Miami looked really, really cool. Heart of the Woods, like titles I had never heard of, and I was like, man, like what a cool thing. Like what a cool tool. So like it and one of the things that I know that we have said over and over and over again about like Valve It's like Valve, you got to hire people. Valve, you can't just have robots do everything. And I want to make this clear. Valve, this is a great tool and this is a good robot, but it does not solve any of the fucking problems that we've talked about in the past. Like, except for discoverability. It solves the discoverability problem, but it doesn't make your store less full of shit and, like, less a platform used by, like, weird cretinous alt-writers to, like, make joke products.
Well, even if, like, Steam is making some strides in discoverability with their tools, we know that they are very willing to get in their own way.
Yeah.
The first thing it's listed for me is Don't Starve, which is a game I do own. So I don't know why it's here.
I did run into that. Like, one of the first games it recommended to me was Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, the next game it's recommending to me is fucking Stardew Valley. Like, I know. I already know. And Long Live the Queen, which is a game that I also very much enjoy.
Man, Long Live the Queen, that game is so fucking unforgiving.
It is! It is! I can't make her the queen! It's too hard! I'm trying to do my best! Trying to not fuck up that first ball scene. Jesus. Hard. It's hard, man.
Rocky, you ever fuck with Long Live the Queen?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
So you have a girl. She's great. And, you're trying to raise her to be a good queen. And, like, everyone fucking wants to murder her. And there are so many ways she can fucking die. It's ridiculous. Depending on, like, what sort of classes you send her to, like, determines, like, her agility and her grace and the ability with words and whether or not she can use magic and, like, all this other stuff. And, like, she's gonna die. She's gonna die so many times. It's...
I say this knowing full well that I will chase off the last of our new listeners who's still here. It's the Dark Souls of princess management games.
It is the Dark Souls of princess management games. Like, fuck. I have managed a lot of princesses in my time.
Well, it's like princess management is already like a weird like genre that like puts off a lot of people. But this is like just like incredibly unforgivingly difficult, hard as shit, incredibly obtuse, like doesn't explain its systems well, but is totally addictive once you dig in. Long Live the Queen is one of those games where it's like, if you know, you know, and you're like, this game is fucking rad. And it's... Rocky, you should come in the treehouse with us. It's a good treehouse.
There actually is a Steam review here that reads, a Dark Souls of visual novels.
Yeah. It fits.
God, I just want Princess Eloise to be good.
Is Long Live the Queen on Switch yet?
No.
Why the fuck?
It's coming out for Switch Lite.
Fuck the world.
Like, you know that.
Down. Okay. So yeah, that is my Steam story. Rocky, what you got?
Oh, yeah. So the Steam Summer Sale happened. It's winding down now. No, it'll be over. It's over now. Forget what I was saying before. But if you guys weren't paying attention, the Steam sale this year came with a metagame, the Steam Summer Sale Grand Prix. It's a team-based race where you can pick an animal, a pig, a corgi, a hare, and there's a fourth and a fifth one that I'm not remembering. You basically got a car with your team, and you could move the car along the track by yeeting your money out of your wallet. It sounds like a scam. Like, absolutely. Like, Steam wants you to pay more money to buy more games. We knew. Like, it's not news. But each day, when the distance was tallied up, a random selection of the winning team's members got a free game off of their wish list. They just gave it to you for free. So, like, you know, real community modern warfare vibes. Now, Steam may be a libertarian wasteland, but it has rules and systems and people who are trying to game them. The rules are complicated, and actions people took seem to have random effects or worse, no effect at all. There were people that ended up with an inordinate amount of points, so they figured they needed to buy more games. They bought more games, and they didn't get any more points. There were people who were trying to make sure that they got a certain game on their wish list, so they just dumped their entire wish list, and hoping that would result in them getting the free game should their team win. That wasn't how it worked. Steam came in after a while because devs started complaining because, as you know, putting a game on your wish list adds to the system's the game's discoverability. So if there are people dumping your game out of your wish list, you're going to show up on a lot less searches. You're going to be surfaced a lot less to other people by the algorithm, and ultimately you're going to make less sales in a time where a lot of people make most of their sales. A lot of devs were, reasonably upset, and they brought their concerns to Steam and Twitter, publishing graphs showing that they weren't making as much money as they did last year, and it turns out it's because people are dumping them out of their wish lists. And Steam, to their credit, I guess, stepped in to try to, clarify how the system worked, that a person could get the top game on their wish list, not a random one, so they didn't have to dump out their wish list. And honestly, that helped a couple of devs, but for a lot of them, the damage was already done. And more than a couple of devs lost hits on their page, which translated almost directly into revenue, and some even say that they lost about 80% of their revenue year over year. So, it was a mess.
Man, oh man. Fuck Valve.
Oh yeah, of course.
And to be clear, that was like, fuck Valve, as in you're like talking to Valve and commenting on what you've done. But also, man, fuck Valve. Like,
I mean, also, fuck Valve.
Feed Valve beans.
Yeah, feed them beans.
Man, what an absolute...
Yeah, Valve, give your balls a tug. Like, wake up.
What? What the fuck does that mean? Hey, Rocky? Yeah. What the fuck does that mean?
What, give your balls a tug?
Yeah.
Oh, What
the fuck?
When some people get wound up, they tend to, get really stressed out. Giving your balls a tug, allows you to clear your head sometimes.
What the fuck?
But it's usually people don't need that to, get their shit together, but, some special idiots do, so.
But what does that mean?
What, give your balls a tug?
Yeah.
Literally. Pull them down, I guess.
Why would you pull them down? Wouldn't that hurt? Aren't they, delicate, fragile little, things?
They can't handle a lot of pressure, but, tension is usually pleasant.
Huh. What the fuck?
Yeah, balls are weird.
Who designed the male anatomy, and why is it so bad? Hey, God, what the fuck?
God?
So, Brian, do you have something else that I'm not going to understand? Are you going to talk about something else that I'm going to have no fucking clue about, and you're going to have to explain to me like I am a literal child?
Wait, when did I do that before? I hope I didn't come off that way. 3D Realms made a game in an effort to try and recapture its Duke Nukem, juju. And that game...
Sure.
was called Ion Maiden. Alright?
Alright.
Yep.
I think I vaguely remember this. What's wrong with it now?
The heavy metal band Iron Maiden took issue with it and said that it violated their trademarks. So they sued 3D Realms, and Iron Maiden asserted that the game's title was nearly identical to the Iron Maiden trademark in appearance, sound, and overall commercial impression. Okay, so this particular trademark, held by Iron Maiden, was filed November 9th, 2018. And it applies to downloadable computer game software via a global computer network and wireless device, downloadable computer game software, recorded computer game software. And so it was filed November 9th, 2018, and then published for opposition on June 11th, 2019. The day that 3D Realms caved and changed the name of their game. So, like, Iron Maiden holds a bunch of different trademarks, which are, like, in different product categories, and, no one was going to confuse Ion Maiden with Iron Maiden. Like, that's just not how that works. Like, people aren't stupid. But Iron Maiden, because of the way U.S. trademark law works, unless you vigilantly defend your trademark, you don't get to keep your trademark. And so there were some trademark lawyers who thought, like, oh, well, Ion Maiden is too close. Iron Maiden will have to go after Ion Maiden. And it's just one of those things which I feel like is fucking stupid, because it's like you read an article about a lawsuit and you could feel that the people who filed it don't even believe the shit which is in it. Like, in the lawsuit it said that the title was nearly identical to the Iron Maiden trademark in appearance, sound, and overall commercial impression, and that the protagonist, Shelley Harrison, is a riff on bassist and songwriter Steve Harris. And, like, if you look at Shelley Harrison side by side with Steve Harris, it doesn't really pass that smell test. And it's one of those things where, like, I am sure that 3D Realms is like, this is still a good idea, this is still a good name for this video game, but it's not like they have money shooting out of their ass. And even though they could conceivably win in court, the amount of money that they would lose trying to win is just going to, like, put them out of business. And so this is really just, like, available spending cash capitalism. Like, this is just Iron Maiden, this heavy metal band, this world famous heavy metal band has more money than this video game developer. And so they just win. And I fucking hate it. And because 3D Realms now has to try and put lipstick on this pig, and they're like, we've decided to rename our first-person shooter, Ion Maiden, to Ion Fury. A lot of thought went into this, but most importantly, it would be a disservice to our loyal fanbase and the fantastic developers to drag out a long lawsuit. The amazing gameplay, interactivity, and pure fun is what makes Ion Fury a great game, not the title. No one's saying that the title made the game great, dude, but, like, you're being bullied away from your product just in the interest of, like, people defending something that they probably don't even sincerely believe that this infringes upon. But because of the weird way U.S. trademark law is written, they have to attack you in order to prevent it from being, like, used in other situations. Like the way the word aspirin got genericized because people didn't defend aspirin. So it just, while this is actually a story about video games, what it really is about how everything is dumb. Do any of you have feelings?
I do have feelings, but not about this.
Fair enough.
When the people submitting the trademark
lame.
argument don't even, like, really give a shit, you know?
Yep.
It's just a lot of...
Yeah.
Has anybody got anything else?
All right.
You know, we do. You know we do. It's not great, though. Are you ready for not great?
Let's get
Alright, here we go! The professional Super Smash Bros. Player Ally has retired from the Smash community.
Ally was pretty good.
Because he was...
He had a good Mario.
Because he was fucking a 16-year-old.
God damn it! I'm sick of these fucking Smash players. What the fuck is this?
So, he sort of abruptly retired, you know, of course, after admitting to a romantic relationship with a teenage competitor. Mm-hmm. This is after, of course, a third player publicly accused Ally of dating said teenager in March, but at the time, like, neither Ally nor the person in question acknowledged their relationship was romantic, but that changed on June 29th, when the teen who was dating Ally seemingly confirmed the accusations with a tweet, which has, of course, since been deleted. So you know.
Oh, he's like a grown man.
Yeah, Ally did admit to the relationship, though, after he returned from a Smash Brothers tournament in Florida, where he placed third. Yay! And then he was like, I'm gonna retire now, bye!
Like, Ally's like almost 30.
Yep, and he's 28, and the person in question was 16. You know, and like, Ally is Canadian, and the other party is a citizen of the United States, so like, in Canada, the age of consent is not 18. It's a little bit younger. So like, but also, I don't think anyone would argue that like 16 is not still like, wow, a kid. And at the same time, if you're gonna be like, it feels very like Ariel if like you hear someone who's 16 being like, I can choose who I want to have sex with, because it's like, yeah, you're 16 and you're not a child anymore, Dad! But at the same time, like, you're still a kiddo. You really, like, as much as you think, like, you get everything, you really don't.
Like, okay, so...
Like, that'd be like if I was dating a 16-year-old, and that'd be weird.
Absolutely. Like, okay, so Texas has, like, an age of consent lower than 18 as well. That's 17. And I know, like, further east, like in the actual South, you get into like places that have like ages of consent of 16, and most of the logic around those is that like kids are fucking, and we don't have the time to prosecute kids for fucking. And I understand that because that sounds like a logistical nightmare. But the problem is that people this young don't have the emotional tools or experience to navigate these relationships with adults. Mm-hmm. And the issue specifically with Ally, the reason I'm pissed about this isn't because like the laws say that it's okay or that the laws are different in places that I'm used to, but like I know 16-year-olds. I grew up around them, and I was 16 at some point, and like if a 16-year-old was trying to like come at me knowing what I know, like sexual or otherwise, like it's not that like I'm going to like not acknowledge like their attraction or whatever, but it's just that like we can't operate on the same level, and like there's just things that I'll just be like accidentally predatory about because of things I know about the world, and it's fucking stupid, and people should know this. Like, Jesus.
I mean, I was 16 and I was in a relationship with a dude, and I was pressured in that relationship with the dude like for a long time. So like 16-year-olds don't know shit. They don't know anything. Just because of, like, the amount of... Not just, like, general inexperience, but also, like... Adults are manipulative.
Yeah, and they can pull levers that kids can't even see.
Yeah, because they know what to look for.
I
don't know. Brian, what do you think? Are we overreacting? It sounds like you think we might be overreacting.
It's fine if we are. I guess
I guess my reaction to the question, are we overreacting, is maybe, question mark.
That's fair.
Because
Sure.
I think that there is... Okay, so big picture response first is that whenever there is any kind of relationship between two people, period, whenever there is any kind of relationship between two people, there is a power dynamic between the two of them. That's just...
Sure.
That is just an unfortunate byproduct of the
we
way the world works. Like, there is always somebody who is holding 4 cards in a game of 5-card draw. But what this relies upon is the way other people navigate their understanding of their own privilege. And this is even just like outside of like the idea of like this particular 28-year-old and this particular 16-year-old. Like, this is one of those things where like unless you are cognizant of when you hold more cards and knowing what those cards are and approaching life with a willingness to examine your own failings and knowing, you know, how that can be exploited and how it can be used and making sure that you're as sincerely transparent as your own understanding of self will allow you to be. Because obviously, like, and this is where we start to get into like abstract shit, like there are times when you do things when you don't even understand why you do them. Going back to like the experience of being 16, a lot of times you do shit where you're like, why the fuck did I do that? And you're like, no, you don't know yet. But like, I think as much as your own understanding of self will allow, being transparent with why you do them probably makes for better relationships, period. So like, I can't speak to this 28-year-old. I have no idea who the fuck Ally is. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. I also don't know this like 16-year-old. And so like, I wouldn't want to roast them just for existing. Like, I don't...
okay.
But, like, I think that there are additional things in play here, in addition to just the disparity in age. One, like, being famous on the internet is kind of cool. Especially in an age where people who are currently 16 probably think that being famous on the internet is more cool than somebody who is, say, 28 or 38 or 48 for that matter. Like, the value of that currency, like, the kind of famous that Ally is becomes more bankable the younger the person he talks to. Like Ally could introduce himself to my wife and say, I'm famous on the internet for being fucking Mario in a fighting game. And she'd be like, oh yeah? And that's reflective of like that, the way people connect to that generationally. And getting involved with a 16-year-old when what you do is play Smash Brothers for people online on the internet, and you're kind of like a low-rent, like, esports celebrity, that feels like a deliberate exploitation of the things that you know would be of interest. It's kind of like looking at the things that, like, might not necessarily serve as, like, it's like, what if Ally was a D&D character and his traits, like, all of a sudden had more value depending on what he was fighting? Yeah, and it's like, and that's where the decision to date a 16-year-old feels more predatory. Like, if this guy didn't, like, if this was just, like, some guy who lived in fucking, like, Redondo Beach and, like, worked at a local surfboard shop and would just happen to be, like, dating this 16-year-old, then, like, I probably would have less of a problem with it because it's not like he's playing Smash Brothers in like a quasi-celebrity kind of way, where like he has this like quasi-celebrity appeal that like specifically targets younger people. He's just a guy who like plays Smash sometimes with his friends and works at the surf shop. You know, like, but this is like, hey, I'm a quasi-celebrity in a specific kind of way that is more appealing to younger people. And I'm like, that starts to feel bad. So it for me, the thing that makes me shitty about this isn't the age difference, but the exploitation of celebrity. Oh, I didn't know that. They're fine. Fuck away.
Players. I mean, like, Allies... Okay. Yeah. Like, Allies definitely was, like, world rank number 1 at some point, and he was number 3 in, like, Smash 4, and he was gonna place high in Ultimate. But since he's, like, retiring, they're considering taking him off the rankings. But yeah, they're both pretty good.
Oh, okay, all right.
This isn't a random 16-year-old Smash fan.
This. Like if that doesn't hold appeal for her, if that doesn't hold mystery for her, because she already has access to her own level of internet celebrity. Oh, I'm sorry.
Also,
okay.
Also, he.
Sorry, didn't know. Are there genders in this story here?
Don't sweat it.
I did not.
Both.
Yeah, I did not list genders in the story, but it is both.
So
both
if
parties.
He already has access to a level of internet celebrity, then that doesn't hold mystery. That doesn't hold mystique for him. You know, he's got that. You know, he is that guy. So it's not like he's like standing next to the sun here. Now, if then
no.
Like, I don't know how serious... Like, I don't know if, like... I mean, you said, like, Ally was, like, ranked number 1. Like, so maybe there's an appeal there just from, like, a... you know, a standing next to the master kind of way. Like, I'm sure that there's shit that you're interested in that if you could just be around somebody who was, like, significantly better at it than you, probably holds some appeal. Yeah, and so, like, that might be the thing which is being exploited. But, like... I don't think that the exploitation which may exist necessarily is rooted in a disparity in age. I think it's probably rooted in something else. Like, knowing that this, like, when you're saying, like, oh, well, he was number 1 in this and number 3 in that, and he would have been ranked high in this, like, it sounds like then it's not the celebrity thing, it's not the age thing, it might be something else. Like here's an opportunity to have access to a person who I think will help me get better at this thing, and then this person thinks that they're exploiting me because they're like, well, I just get access to you. And it just really gets into this whole, like, weird fucking thing about, like, when do we honor and recognize people's choices about the way they manage themselves, manage their body, manage their relationships, and... Also, you know, is the idea that relationships can be inherently transactional, inherently bad, and if we, I don't know, like, I guess I'm just saying that fucking human beings are complicated, and, like, it looks like this guy got roasted hard, and it has been, like, canceled by the internet, and, I don't know, like, for all I know, he's a piece of shit, but also, like, for all I know, like, these were... people who went into this with their eyes open, and I just don't fucking know. I don't know. So maybe question mark.
Well, like, the Smash community wants him canceled. Like, he's already...
Yeah.
Before he announced his retirement, there was a large section of the Smash community that was saying, hey, we want this guy banned from future, like, Smash tournaments entirely.
Yeah, like lifetime bans.
So, I feel like almost regardless of whether or not, like, he would have been... Regardless of whether or not, like, the relationship was consensual, the people were... The community at large wasn't going to stand for it.
Also, stuff like this has happened before. And like there have definitely been like allegations, especially with like young people, and it's a lot of it. I believe is more attributed to the fact that Smash's player base is just a lot younger. Like, I mean, you'll have like 12-year-olds like show up at locals because like really young kids play Smash, not in the same way that like people play like Street Fighter and the like. And there have definitely been some high profile things where people, you know, like they have handed out, people have handed out lifetime bans before. It's not unified because there isn't like a Smash like council anywhere. They're trying to work on it, but it's mostly people just running locals that get bigger. And you know, Nintendo's competitions are a whole other deal, so we'll see how those play out. But they've definitely had trouble with like people with like illicit relationships or, you know, incidents with young people. And even if this was like ultimately above board, there was like when it originally came out a couple months ago, like it really did seem like illicit and like not even really like transactional. It looked like it was something that Ally may have like taken advantage of, and this younger player was pressured to like keep quiet about it. And like with this latest thing, with like the announcement that like the person that came out about it initially like was telling the truth, is how like this got put into an uproar again, which like, you know, suggests, and it's really only a suggestion, there's no hard evidence here, that like that Ally or his people or someone wanted this person to keep quiet about this relationship so that Ally could look better, because he was the Smash player, he was the person to beat, and he wasn't using like any of the DLC stuff, so like he was really respected as like a player of skill that like really learned a character and learned how to beat people. And if that guy got taken down by scandal, it would have been a much bigger issue. And like we're at the nascent rise of a new game, so ships like this are going to happen, and this is definitely just like a bomb going off. And maybe Ally's like above board, maybe none of this was like actually terrible, but
okay, so I have a question.
Very easily
about,
could
like,
not have been.
The Smash community. All right, this is, to my mind, at least the third inappropriate
like
sexual conduct
like
Smash scandal I could think of. I think I remember
Sure.
a guy
sounds
called
about right.
Nightmare.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the thing that happened. That was a nightmare all on its own. Aha!
And then I think I remember,
So
like,
funny.
back in 2016, somebody, like, groping somebody who was, like, asleep in a hotel. Like,
Asleep.
like I think, like,
Yep.
specifically,
Yep.
like, got somebody blackout drunk and then was, like, groping them and then, like, sending a bunch of, like, shitty text messages
Yep.
to the event organizer, like, don't tell the police or my travel visa won't get approved for the next tournament. And, like,
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was a whole
And
thing that happened.
I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
why is it that, like, I can't think of any other fighting game where if you were to play Word Association with me, one of the first things I would think of is inappropriate sexual conduct scandal.
Well, Smash, once again, it's about younger people, mostly teens. Like, the people that, like, go to tournaments for, like, other games tend to be college age and up. That just seems to be where they at in their lives. But, like, new teens keep getting, like, indoctrinated into Smash, but, like, new teens don't do the same thing for, like, Street Fighter or Tekken or etc. You'll have, like, some younger people that, like, will get into, like, the anime fighters, but anime fighters are so complicated that, like, they don't play at a high level more often than not. Like, there are just more teens and stuff in Smash. That's just how that goes. And, you know, since Smash, like, Melee, it's like a 15-year-old game, like, there's definitely a lot of just grody dudes, like, floating around, and to the point where, you know, like, there's, like, a running joke, like, they used to say, like, the FGC doesn't shower, and now that's almost explicitly pointed at Smash, especially since Smash hasn't gotten the backing of the FGC or its, like, parent companies the same way that Capcom has, like, interacted with Street Fighter, or Bandai Namco has interacted with Tekken. Like, Nintendo has almost explicitly just been like, fuck Smash. But Smash players keep playing, so, like, they don't have corporate backing and, like, by extension, corporate standards. And, like, the sponsorship that's involved, like, is definitely a lot more, like, laid back and, like, less regulated, I suppose. And then there's just a bunch of teens around. Like, it's just like a cesspool for disaster. It's for things like this, particularly. Less oversight.
So is this a thing
people,
that,
like, in charge?
Could Nintendo make this better?
They could, but Nintendo doesn't play nice with the Smash community for a number of reasons. Nintendo/Sakurai doesn't like how Smash players play their game. And so, like, they want, like, you know, to enforce rule sets, and, like, the Smash community, which basically built themselves, don't kowtow to Nintendo. Because Nintendo wants to change too much about them. Nintendo is arguably asking for too much. And, like, Nintendo doesn't see the value of, like, this community. They're trying to build it themselves. So it's different. And, like, they both actually have good points, but, like, they don't get along. And, like, unlike, you know, Capcom, who just kind of, like, saw what TOs were doing, is like, hey, maybe we can help out. And, like, Bandai Namco was more about, like, hey, like, Tekken's in a bad spot. What can we do to make it better? And, like, Smash and Nintendo's like, whoa, why are you guys doing this much? Like, how are new players supposed to get in? It's like, fuck it, we like playing this way. Like, they're just, it's different. They don't get along. Like, Nintendo doesn't have the tools or, like, the, you know, the clout to, like, pull the Smash community from itself.
Are you kidding me?
And
the Smash sure community, that if Nintendo ran up their flag and, like,
I mean,
actually gave a shit, that they could assemble the Smash community pretty easily.
I disagree. Like, I think they could do some things, especially with the newer stuff, like Smash 4 and, like, Ultimate, but, like, they can't kill Melee. They can't do it now. Like, it's not gonna work. Like, maybe they run cease and desist and they bury all the TOs and there's just a lot less people playing. Like, those people aren't gonna gravitate to Ultimate. Like, that's not what's gonna happen. Maybe they build it in, like, 5-10 years, but they'd have to burn everything else down first.
Man. Man, oh man. I don't know. I don't know how we solve this problem. Like,
there isn't a quick fix for it. Like, Nintendo's doing what they can, I think. Like, they are building their own scene, and it's of an entirely different flavor of what current Smash is, which a lot of people are angry about anyways. But the big TOs, unless they're like, their player bases dry up, that people don't want to play on those rules anymore, and people definitely do, like, they're gonna keep running stuff in parallel to Nintendo. Nintendo could go after the TOs directly, but what they would have to do is basically starve them out. And they can, and that would hurt, but they could ultimately build Smash on their terms, but no one else has done that successfully. Like, Capcom, well, they run their own Capcom Pro Tour, and they definitely say some shit from on high. Like, they're not gonna step on Mr. Wizard or, like, fucking, like, Alex Valle. Like, they're not gonna do it. They have too much respect for the people that play and build up this game.
Okay.
Alex Valle?
Okay.
He's been playing like Street Fighter for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, there are things that can be done about this, and some of them are already in motion. It's just none of it's going to be quick.
Tournaments which take a particular effort to keep the sleaze out of Smash.
Yeah, like, I mean, there are definitely bigger tournaments like this, like the majors, which are like, what, 6 to 8 tournaments that happen every year. Like, you don't get shit like this there. Like, it's never gonna happen at DreamHack. It's almost never gonna happen at EVO. You're not gonna see it. Fuck, I don't know. Some of the West Coast stuff is actually really well run, but like, I think this particularly came about, not like the relationship, but like the Twitter thing that sprouted all this like renewed outrage. I think that happened at CEO, like that tweet that went out. I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But you know, like people that travel and like they interact, and like some TOs, like because TOing is fucking hard. Like some people get overwhelmed, some people can't watch everything. But bigger stuff tend to have better controls for this type of thing. And like smaller stuff like locals, like don't have hotel rooms to like let shenanigans like this happen. But like things that are in between, people that put together pretty decent budgets, but you know, don't have like the blessing of a lot of people, like tend to have stuff like this that fall through the cracks.
So this got set in motion by shit that happened at CEO.
I think so. June 29th, I think that was that weekend.
Yep.
Well, then,
you are correct.
Come on, Jabali, get your shit together.
But, well, like, there wasn't, like, anything illicit that happened on the 29th. It was the younger player that was in the relationship, felt safe enough to tweet about it.
Oh, because so it just so happened that, like, fighting games were assembled there, so that way that tweet could get traction that weekend because of that environment. Okay. So Jabali's shit was together.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Jabali's know what he's doing. No, it's just like, I don't know, something in between where, you know, Ally and like this younger player, like cross paths that I don't know, began some sort of relationship and continued over some period of time. That's the stuff that's unclear. But, you know, we don't have those details. They haven't talked about it. So,
Damn.
There's a Twitter thread where someone like laid out whatever details that we do have, but like, you know, it's one person. It's neither of the parties actually involved.
Well, shit. Goddamn. You know what? Today was a lot.
Oh yeah, it was? No, it's still happening.
It's still happening.
Brian.
We still got to find out what came out on Steam today.
Soul Valley came out again.
Because we always end with Steam. We decided a year
Soul
ago.
Valley again.
Wait, what did? Oh, shit.
Yeah, like
what was that,
this
6?
Soul Valley game is just like I don't know. It just never goes away. 7 games on Steam today.
Never goes away. No.
Including our friend Soul Valley again.
Amazing.
Also out today, Escape from Classroom, which I think we've also covered before.
Oh my god.
This
right.
game is a game to escape from classroom. The classroom is not very big, but many hints are hidden. Also, up to 3 classmates will visit over time, find items, reason, and escape from classroom. Up to...
I know how to escape from a classroom.
Up to 3 students will visit over time. The biggest thing in your action changes is the number of visits. Okay. Good times. So it's a fucking escape room of a classroom. No, that was not actually a game. It's a demo, so we don't have to talk about that. Then VR Experience. VR Experience is a continuously expanding library of therapeutic VR experiences and training programs meant to aid professional therapists in training their clients using virtual reality. Not the kind of people you expect to... It doesn't look like a good thing, Rocky. Sorry. It's one of those things where, like, if these people weren't idiots, this would sound like a good idea. But, yeah.
But
next
they are,
up
in fact, idiots.
Is VR Lab Academy Anatomy VR.
Academy Anatomy?
They had to open and close.
Explore 8 human anatomical systems in the futuristic lab. You could see them all in the human body, all without leaving your room. This application is a great learning tool showing you realistic models of human anatomy.
Brian, are these
you know what?
people
No,
also idiots?
this one does not look like this is necessarily idiots. Yeah, this actually...
Good. All right.
This actually does not look like total dog shit. There you go. You want to take a look at a brain?
Academy Anatomy, guys.
Next up is Naked Story.
Sure. Fucking Steam.
If you lose the match, strip on the street. Streaking in the city.
Nope.
This is a unique Japanese
Nope.
Sugoroku adventure game.
Tien? What's Sugoroku mean?
Sugoroku. Sugoroku. It's a Japanese board game, which is similar to backgammon.
The developers described the content like this. It actually says this. Swimwear, sexy pose, nude. The basic rules are like Sugoroku, go ahead to the goal while playing a card game. Winning the card game will reduce the heroine's HP. If HP decreases, it will be undressed accordingly. Oh, she's in it now. Fuck you, video game. For details, please refer to manual or official website.
I know, right?
And then underneath, ... erroneously detected by security software. Because this game is included in original program, it may erroneously be detected by your security software. This is safe software. It does not...
Don't trust
Jesus, this is being distributed on fucking Steam. Like...
This sounds like bad news.
This
bad
is safe software. It does not interfere with or communicate with your system. Please add to the safe list of soft... Like, oh my fuck.
No, this sounds so shady. This sounds like 90% shady.
Oh god. Brian, does it look like they're using an overly powerful graphics card?
It looks like they're probably just like mining your data or using a keystroke recorder or something like that.
Oh, gross. No, thank you.
Fucking gross.
This game is not translated into English. At the moment, only the basic menu is translated. I have no budget to translate. If the evaluation and sales are good, we will translate the full text into English. Yeah.
By sales, he also means selling your information. I ask a professional company for
translation. Translation is not a decision. However, Jesus Christ. However, even if you translate the game, there is no additional charge for the game. If you purchase the game before the translation, you can upgrade it for free, not DLC. Because it is not translated at the moment, it is discounted price. If translation is done, the selling price will rise. It does not affect those who have purchased in advance. If rejected by Valve, translation will not be possible under any circumstances. It does not sell. It is if the evaluation is extremely bad, if illegal download is rampant, these cases are also impossible. Please understand. If the game goes well, it may be possible to create the next work and translate the next work. Thank you for reading.
God.
Characters
thank you for reading. Holy shit.
This is, you guys will love this bit. Characters are all adults.
Even though this they look like they're fucking children. Story,
everything does not really exist.
Oh, God.
Everything doesn't
You know,
nice.
I want to take a moment here and pause. No. There are times when we do this segment on this show, and I go, why the fuck do we continue to do what came out on Steam today? You know, like whenever we get like a week which is particularly bad or boring, or it's like it's shitty in a way which isn't particularly interesting. But then sometimes we get fucking Naked Story. Or
Naked
What was
story.
it? Dude, did you play your toothbrush game? With Jiggle? Did you jiggle the
Rocky?
oligarch, Brian?
Please do me a favor. On like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, like midweek.
Sure, what's up, man?
Hit me up.
I'm setting an alarm.
And tell me to
sure.
fucking jiggle the oligarch. Okay?
I got you one better.
Okay,
You're gonna
appreciate
see it in a second. But yeah, I got you.
If error occurs, please install Japanese language pack. Settings, arrow. Time and language, arrow. Region and language, arrow. Add a language, arrow. Japanese. Character introduction. Ruri Fujisawa. Special skill, archery. Age 19. Birthday 3/29. Blood type A. Have we done the whole blood type thing on this show before? Like, why the fuck is it that, like, in so much, like, Japanese stuff that they're like, hey, check out Blanca, his blood type is B. Like,
I don't know if you really want to know the answer to that or not.
I'll take my answer offline.
But I do really know the answer to that.
You know what they say, like,
okay.
Thank you for letting me call, I'll hang up and take my answer. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I gave you the option. Instead of just launching into it this time.
It almost certainly, like, if I were standing from the outside looking in, making a guess, I'm going to guess it has something to do with, like, a much like astrology, like, much like alignment of stars people believe to have some kind of, like, contributing factors around, like, personality, destiny, and fate, that people are ascribing particular attributes to, like, blood type, is in, like, a person who is blood type A has these kind of personality attributes. Like, the idea that, like, you know something about somebody by knowing their blood type. Like, oh, you're AB, you're a real asshole, that kind of thing. Like, okay, great.
Yes, that's
great.
Exactly it.
Oh, man.
People
Brian,
who are blood type AB
Brian.
are supposedly both talented and composed as positive traits, and eccentric and two-faced as negative traits.
Rocky, you had a thing? Okay.
I'm just going to send it to you. I'll send it to you offline.
Created the reminder. Jiggle the oligarch. Well,
I did.
I will send you the entire, like, a really good, like, explanation
Jesus
of it, though. For your your later reading pleasure.
Gentle listener, I guarantee you have no idea how long we were recording.
For sure,
yeah.
you will never know.
Story.
It's possible there may be an entire bonus episode created out of shit that is not in this cut. God damn. Rocky, take us home.
Oh, hey guys. In case you haven't noticed, this is Impossible Coin. This is our show. We're here every week. We promise. There's music at the beginning and end of this podcast. It's produced by our friend Big Sach. You can find his work at soundcloud.com/Big-NJ. Also, our logo is also a t-shirt that was drawn and created by Lauren Moran. You can find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran. And if you like her work, throw her a couple bucks on her Patreon. She deserves it. If you like what we're doing here, or even if you don't, honestly, we'd appreciate the feedback. If you could send us a review wherever you found the podcast, whether that be on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, or Spotify, we'd really appreciate it. Or, you know, if you don't want to do anything that formal, you could hit us up on social media. Brian's on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. But that's us. That's what we're doing here.
Very, very cool. Well, y'all, thanks for hanging out. If you're new to the show, and based on download numbers from last week, there's probably some of you, and you hung in this far, I hope you're here to stay, because I think we're fun people. Peace.
Bye.
Later.